All right. What up, perps? How's it going? How's everybody doing on this fine evening? Let's see. Who all got running around in chat so far? We got brother G23, brother MC, got Vulcan Rumble. Let's see. Keep on trucking for just a second. Got brother too many choices out there. What is happening, brother? Live life. What's happening, my brother? Brother Dark's checking in. What is going on? Looks like you guys been rocking and rolling for a couple minutes, man. Good freaking deal. Arms, what's happening, brother? Fire Order, what is going on? You guys are all freaking rocking and rolling. So anyway, 8 o'clock tonight, Uncle Sniffy is supposed to give his presser addressing the nation from the Oval Office. So I figured we'd watch that shit show. P38, what's up, my brother? Agorizer, what's happening, brother, man? Bearded checking in. Brother Bearded, what's up? It's not a Bud Light, not Keystone. Well, I do that, and man against the masses will jump in here and Photoshop another Bud Light in my hand. As usual. Shano, what's up, chick? How you been doing? How you and Jason been? Let's see. There's brother Jason. What is up, my brother? Much love. Let's throw this out in the chativerse. Because I'm going to run this one kind of like I did last night, where anybody who wants to jump in can jump in. We're going to leave it pretty open. And if you guys out in chat have any videos that you've seen you want to cover, kick them out in the chat. Just let me know, and we'll pick them up and watch them, see what's going on. Looking at more stuff on X and trying to find more of the cell phone video. Most of the stuff I've seen running around out there is stuff that we pretty much already looked at. I haven't found anything that was just absolute, oh, holy hell, that's new, got to look at that. So we'll see what we can dig up. But like I said, tonight, Uncle Sniffy is supposed to give his press conference, his address to the nation. So we're going to pull up the White House tuba use and watch this freaking shit show. Hey, there's Brother Warsaw. What's up, brother? Chamber Defense, what's happening, my brother? How you been? Warsaw, if you're saying anything, you're muted, brother.
I did the same thing that you did in the past.
Constantly. Be over there flapping my mouth and the mute button's on. Oh, shit.
Yep.
Is what it is.
I'm doing all right.
Well, hopefully, we'll see what my crazy-ass country internet does today. I did reset my network, and just to try it out, running off a hard line tonight. So we'll see. We'll see whether that helps.
Hey, beats being in Canada right now.
Well, anything beats being in Canada. Sainty, what's up, brother, man? I just saw you checking in.
I'm glad that Trump's alive, man. That shit was not something I would ever want to fucking think of doing on a president.
Gonna send me something on Instagram. All right, brother, man.
You know, and the sick thing is, Coop, there's people actually who are preaching and wanting that to happen. I'm like, there's something fucking wrong with you.
Dude, there's something wrong with a lot of folks.
I mean, I've come across a lot of woke people on the internet literally wishing that actually happened.
Yeah, I'm seeing not as much as I thought I would see, actually. With people jumping up and down that are just kind of sad that, you know, he didn't get killed. I'm not seeing as much of that as I thought I would see. I am seeing some of it. And it's some people are just that way, man. As much as I hate these Democrats, as much as I can't fucking stand most Republicans, you might hear me telling you that they need to be tarred and feathered and thrown out of office, but I don't advocate for someone to just go around trying to put him in the ground, you know. But again, it's like we talked about yesterday. The media has built this up and built this up and built this up, trying to make Trump out to be the demon, trying to make him out to be the devil, orange keto dictator, Hitler, whatever. It doesn't surprise me if someone tried to take a shot at him.
How about the numerous amount of people that have been falsely accused of crimes they didn't even commit? And the media is mostly held to blame for that.
They definitely are to blame for a lot of it. Yeah, thank you.
That's why I don't ever fucking talk to a reporter, dude. Reporters will fucking backstab you in the ass.
No doubt. Hold on, I'm in my messages. Bearded, I'm not seeing it, brother. Maybe my messages on IG and I'm not seeing anything new coming in. I had any? No, I'm not seeing it. If you got the link, throw it in the chat. I'll pull it up from the chat. Instagram under Allen, yeah. I see it. Okay, yeah. That's the one you sent me earlier. I got you. Here, I'll show that real quick. Which Crump showed it on stream early last night. I know this is where the snipers were actually engaging this dude.
And that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened. And that's a little bit old. And that's a little bit old.
There, one kneeling and one prone.
If you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened. And that's a little bit old. And
did you see one of the security guys was giving like, oh fuck, I fucked up look?
Man, they were talking today. Tim, what's up, brother? Talking today that this sniper had this dude in his sights. It was trying to get, confirmation on going ahead and taking the shot, and they wouldn't give it to him, even though he can see the guy with the rifle. And then they finally, after he started shooting at Trump, he finally just took the dude out. But seems to me in that situation, you see a guy crawling up on the roof that's overlooking an event, and he's got a rifle in his hand. I don't see waiting to take that shot or trying to get confirmation from the bosses to go ahead and take the shot. I don't know whether it's just a bunch of really spineless people running some shit and just don't want to make the decision, which in a lot of cases, I think that's what some of it is. That's how I read the given information. Yeah. Matter of fact, there was a chessboard sent me a video. Hold on, we might have time to look at this before Biden starts his stuff.
Fuck him. Mr. Potato Head. I mean, the guy doesn't really care about anybody's life.
Because the gist of this is that there was a police officer that actually got up on the roof with this guy before he took the shot. And the goddamn connection's already act fucking stupid. I've seriously got to talk to my fucking cable company because this is starting to really get goddamn annoying. But anyway, the cop was on the roof with this kid. The kid turned around, pointed the rifle at the cop. Cop got off the roof and tried to get some cover. And then the kid turned back around and then took a couple shots. And that's when Secret Service nailed his ass. So there was a cop there. There were people pointing out, which we saw in a video last night. There were people pointing out that this guy was up on the roof. But this says that, there was a cop that actually got up on the roof with him. And let me see. Let me kill my camera again. See if I can keep this a little bit more stable. Freaking reset my network and I'm running a hard line and it's still acting goddamn stupid.
As usual.
Fucking Christ.
Senior
man.
FBI officials in out on this. Several law enforcement
because this is fucking ridiculous. All right, let's see. We're going to go back to a wire or a wireless connection.
officials are telling the AP that a local officer actually encountered the shooting suspect on the top of that building that he's accused of shooting from, climbed up onto the roof. This was after being flagged down by bystanders who saw that suspect climb up there. And that officer apparently went up onto the roof and the suspect pointed his rifle at the officer, and that officer reportedly retreated, giving the suspect the opportunity to shoot his rifle at former President Trump. So that is one of the big things that we are learning. That's
this shit's supposed to be fiber optic. It's supposed to be good enough where I wouldn't have any problems if I was gaming again. But I think they're just doing so much freaking work around this area sometimes that they've got the internet all fucked up.
In the latest reporting, according to the Associated Press, we are also learning more about the victims in this situation. And now all three of them have now been named. This, according to the Pennsylvania governor's office. We have been telling you over the past hours about the father of two and husband, 50-year-old Corey Comparator of SAR.
Let me share this soon. Kill that, because this should, hope if Biden starts on time, this should be starting in just a second. But yeah, that guy, I mean, having reports that there was an officer that actually was on the roof with this guy before he got a shot off. And then the officer ends up retreating from the guy. It gets crazier and crazier the more we hear about it. Johnny Propane, what's up, brother, man? How you doing?
I'd like to have Dark to be up on here, and I like his opinions on all this.
Man, Dark's always got solid. Always got solid opinions. For sure, for sure. Let's see. Let me make sure that that's actually caught up.
Fellow Americans,
Here we go.
I want to speak to you tonight about
Let me know
the
if the
need
sound's
for us to
good.
lower the temperature in our politics. Remember, while we may disagree, we are not enemies. We're neighbors. We're friends, co-workers, citizens, and most importantly, we're fellow Americans. We must stand together. Yesterday's shooting at Donald Trump's rally in Pennsylvania calls on all of us to take a step back, take stock of where we are, how we go forward from here. Thankfully, former Trump is not seriously injured. I spoke with him last night. I'm grateful. He's doing well, and Jill and I, and his family, in our prayers. We also extend our deepest condolences to the family of the victims who was killed. Corey was a husband, a father, a volunteer firefighter, a hero, sheltering his family from those bullets. We should all hold his family and all those injured in our prayers. Earlier today, I spoke about an ongoing investigation. We do not know the motive of the shooter yet. We don't know his opinions or affiliations. We don't know whether he had help or support, or if he communicated with anyone else. Law enforcement professionals, as I speak, are investigating those questions.
Yeah, the
Tonight,
four sign language
I
specials.
want to speak to what we do know. A former president was shot, an American citizen killed, while simply exercising his freedom to support the candidate of his choosing. We cannot, we must not go down this road in America. We've traveled before throughout our history. Violence has never been the answer. Whether it's with members of Congress of both parties being targeted and shot, or a violent mob attacking the Capitol on January 6th,
You can't
the former Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, or information and intimidation on election officials, or the kidnapping plot against the sitting governor, or an attempted assassination on Donald Trump.
I got to shut up.
There's no place in America for this kind of violence, for any violence ever. Period. No exceptions.
Then again, he's reading
can't
a
allow this
teleprompter,
violence to be
so go
normalized.
figure.
You know, the political record in this country has gotten very heated. It's time to cool it down. We all have a responsibility to do that. Yes, we have deeply felt strong disagreements. The stakes in this election are enormously high. I've said it many times that the choice in this election, we make in this election, is going to shape the future of America and the world for decades to come. I believe that with all my soul. I know that millions of my fellow Americans believe it as well. And some have a different view as to the direction our country should take. Disagreement is inevitable in American democracy. It's part of human nature. But politics must never be a literal battlefield, and God forbid, a killing field. I believe politics ought to be an arena for peaceful debate, to pursue justice, to make decisions guided by the Declaration of Independence and our Constitution. We stand for an America, not of extremism and fury, but of decency and grace. All of us now face the time of testing as the election approaches. And the higher the stakes, the more fervent the passions become. This places an added burden on each of us to ensure that no matter how strong our convictions, we must never descend into violence. The Republican convention will start tomorrow. I have no doubt they'll criticize my record and offer their own vision for this country. I'll be traveling this week making the case for our record and the vision, my vision of the country, our vision. I'll continue to speak out strongly for our democracy, stand up for our Constitution and the rule of law, to call for action at the ballot box, no violence on our streets. That's how democracy should work. We debate and disagree. We compare and contrast the character of the candidates,
Use less
the
asshole
records, the
for
issues, the
Constitutional
agenda, the
Republic.
vision for America. But in America, we resolve our differences at the battle box. You know, that's how we do it, at the battle box, not with
He
bullets.
said battle box.
Did he
Power
just
to
say
change
battle
America
box?
should always
Yes.
rest in the hands of the people, not in the hands of a would-be assassin. You know, the path forward through competing visions of the campaign should
This guy
always be
needs to go
resolved
out of
peacefully,
office. I'm sorry. Get
not
him out
through
of
acts of
office.
violence. You know, we're blessed to live in the greatest country on earth, and I believe that with every soul, every power of my being. So tonight,
My
I'm
God.
asking every American
I bet there's going to be memes now of
to make
Biden saying the
America
battle
so
box.
make America. Think about it. What's made America so special? Here in America, everyone must be treated with dignity and respect, and hate must have no safe harbor. Here in America, we need to get out of our silos, where we only listen to those with whom we agree, where misinformation is rampant, where foreign actors fan the flames of our division to shape the outcomes consistent with their interests, not ours. Let's remember, here in America, while unity is the most elusive of all goals right now, nothing is more important for us now than standing together. We can do this. You know, from the beginning, our founders understood the power of passion. So they created democracy that gave
No, they
reason and
didn't.
balance a chance to prevail over brute force. That's the American we must be. An American democracy where arguments are made in good faith. An American democracy where the rule of law is respected. An American democracy where decency, dignity, fair play aren't just quaint notions, but living, breathing realities. We owe that to those who come before us, for those who gave their lives for this country. We owe that to ourselves. We owe it to our children and our grandchildren. Look, let's never lose sight of who we are. Let's remember we are the United States of America. There is nothing beyond our capacity when we do it together. God bless you all. May God protect our troops.
Oh, well, that was a pile of horse shit.
Yep, it was.
This whole American democracy thing is how we get to the violence, you bunch of jackasses.
Actually, speaking of which, I got some for you, Coop. Just give me a sec.
If we had stayed a constitutional republic or a federalist republic, that violence wouldn't be there. Yeah, good job, Joe. You said all those words. Yeah, fucking word salad's what that is. Can't even say ballot box. He's saying battle box. Battle box. Battle box. It's just, it is so freaking crazy.
Here, let's see. Where's the? Hold on. Where is it? Ah, here it is. This is what we're dealing with. We got two pictures I want to show you for tonight.
Yeah, we beat Medicare in the battle box. Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah.
Got that one, and I got another one.
Oh, they're definitely known for double speak. Yeah, that fits too. I like, but they're running around right now talking about, oh, we got to tone down the rhetoric, or we got to turn down the rhetoric. They're the ones who jacked everything up to this level. They're the ones who watched cities get burnt down and bailed people out of jail so that they could go burn them down even more. The left in this country is not against political violence whatsoever. They will use it until it comes back to maybe bite him in the ass a little bit, and then they're like, no, we can't be violent. Never mind the flames in the background, half the city getting burnt down, and multiple people getting murdered at so-called rallies and, well, I mean, riots. Let's be honest about that one. Never mind that giant ass crime spike that happened in, probably 19 to 20, some starting in 18, which, I mean, that's all it was just fucking riot after riot after riot. But you won't see them talking about the violence coming from these people on the left. And hell, they're already trying to make this kid to be out some registered Republican.
Last time I checked, he was a Biden supporter.
I seriously wouldn't doubt it. He's definitely not a balanced individual. And then there was another interview, and hell, we might find that one too. Somebody who supposedly went to school with his kid and was talking about, oh, he was bullied every day, and he was kind of a loner, and this other horse shit. And I'm sorry, there's plenty of people that get bullied. There's plenty of people that have really shitty times that don't go out there and try to fucking shoot somebody like that. And still, him even being able to gain access to that roof was a major, major failure. Now, I'm hearing reports now that this apparently was his dad's gun that he took. How much you want to bet? Oh, yeah, dude. Look, Trump would have been in way more danger, a lot more danger, if this kid had been using an off-the-shelf fucking bolt action 30-06 like I deer hunt with.
Yeah, right. Dropped the video in the side chat. Yeah, they literally said this guy's a Biden supporter.
Yeah, if this little numbnuts had actually been using a bolt gun with half-ass decent glass on it, more than likely Trump's not standing there today. Here, let me share this. Do like I did before. Let me kill my cam and I'll share this. But you know, a lot of people on the left right now that are jumping up and down about, oh, we gotta, bring the temperature down. Well, you guys are the ones that brought the temperature up to that fucking point in the first place.
Like the BLM riots.
Oh man, yeah, they were fine with all that violence. Hell, they were using it. One of the reasons they're coming out so hard like they are right now about some of the shit is because it made them look like a bunch of fucking jackasses when Trump got up off that stage and started raising his hand above his raising his hand up and not looking like he was an absolute fucking coward. There was another report I heard earlier today, or I may have saw the post on Twitter, but it's supposed to be some big Democrat, whatever, and they were like, "We just lost it. We just lost the election." Which I said it last night. I said I think this kid even with all the cheating, even with all the ballot harvesting, and all the other bullshit,
they just showed their true colors pretty much.
I think it's a good chance that put Trump in the White House.
In a sense, though, I think it's just showed their true colors, who they actually are.
Oh man, they always show who they are.
On the former president that took place last night.
Justin Heininger in Butler, Pennsylvania, where the situation happened, and he.
Come on, come on, connection, you can do it. Yeah, it was definitely insane to let that kid get within that perimeter. It seriously was. Knight, what's up, brother man? How you doing? All right. 100 and something yards shot like that, 130 yard. I think it was probably within 130. Yeah. How do you let someone get in that perimeter like that? Which, apparently that one cop spotted this dude and got a gun pointed at him. He turned around and ran. But it seems like at that point, there would have been communication there going, this person's on the roof. They just pointed a gun at me. And as soon as the snipers had a shot on this dude, they should have been able to lay him out.
Well, Anthony and Sydney, good morning. As the sun rises, it's sort of hard to really show you the picture of how small and remote this community is. We're north of Pittsburgh in a rural farming community that is waking up basically under a lockdown this morning as federal agents crawl over every inch of the fairground that devolved yesterday into chaos and the attempted assassination of a former president of the United States.
The world will see a vibrant Republican Party.
Donald Trump was just minutes into his speech before tens of thousands in this rural Pennsylvania fairground went through the cheers of his followers. Came the popping of gunfire. The former president grabbed at his right
I'll
ear.
show if I can find the picture.
Ground. as a swarm of Secret Service agents
I'll try to find the picture again. Someone did a close-up picture of Trump when he got up. And remember, we were talking about him having body armor on last night. If this picture is true, and I haven't tried to do a whole lot of stuff, my graphic ability, being able to freeze frame and really get down to serious detail, probably ain't all that great. But it looks like there is a hole in Trump's jacket. So if that picture is true, he did catch one to the chest too.
scrambled to cover him.
We heard pound, pound, pop, pop, pop. In everybody's mind, it was like 4th of July. Somebody must have been still doing firecrackers.
A few endless moments later, as panic rippled through the crowd, the agents brought Trump to his feet. Blood now trickling down his face, he raised his fist and mouthed the word, "fight," as his detail rushed him off the stage to the safety of an armored SUV.
We got down, and we huddled, and we started praying.
The FBI has identified the shooter as 20-year-old
Hey,
Thomas
my brother, how
Matthew
you
Crooks
tonight?
of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, about an hour away. Officials say he perched himself with an AR-style rifle on a roof about 400 feet from the stage where Trump was speaking, and he fired at least 8 rounds before Secret Service counter-snipers returned fire and killed him.
We do not currently have an identified motive, although our investigators are working tirelessly.
Yeah, it very well could have been just
to
ripped.
identify what that motive was.
I saw the man that was hit in the head, and he there's a lot of blood and I knew.
2 others critically injured. Trump was grazed in the ear. "I was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear," he later posted. "I knew immediately that something was wrong and that I heard a whizzing sound, shots."
I still say after all that, Trump would have looked like even more like a damn boss if he had walked out and did either a live press conference or fucking just went and had another like impromptu rally that same night. Like, fuck them.
And immediately felt the bullet ripping through the skin. "Much bleeding took place," he added, "so I realized then what was happening." After receiving treatment at Newark Airport, walking down the stairs from his jet on his own power, his motorcade then whisked to his golf club in Bedminster. President Biden returned to the White House and spoke by phone with the former president.
He's on the stairs. He's on the
Biden's
stairs.
campaign has
Everybody
pulled
hold your
all
breath.
Political advertising after the assassination attempt on his rival.
There's no place in America for this kind of violence. It's sick. It's sick. It's one of the reasons why we have to unite this country. We cannot allow for this to be happening. We cannot.
You know what's pushing this shit?
Look, Uncle Sniffy. Yeah, well, one of the things that you guys are the ones who are pushing the majority of this fucking violence, and we're not uniting underneath you guys. We are diametrically opposed to each other. I'm not saying get violent, but what I am saying is you guys are all about pushing democracy, and democracy is just another name for fucking slavery. That's why our founders said that democracy was a bigger threat to liberty than a standing army.
Well, our
Ryan
constitutional
Rich,
republic.
what's up, my brother?
Constitutional republic.
Yeah, our founders warned against democracy. Democracy is how you get to this violence. And yeah, Rich, we were watching it. Yeah, we watched him read off the teleprompters, and instead of say ballot box, said it was the battle box. Bumper to bumper traffic. I don't envy you then, brother. Be safe. You getting your daughter's stuff moved back to the house?
The biggest question right now, of course, is why? Why did this shooter choose in Pennsylvania say he was registered as a Republican. The investigation, of course, into all of this continues this
No
morning.
Republican would
Also
do that.
unclear how this happened, how the Secret Service managed to allow him to slip through their very tight security. The director of the Secret
Oh, dude,
Service.
if this kid was so called a Republican, he was definitely a fan of the Lincoln Project. And if you don't know who they are, they're basically a progressive group that's calling themselves Republican. Just threw Demo Ranch under the bus. I don't know. I'd be amazed if Demo caught any kind of blowback from some of this shit. Because, I mean, Demo doesn't, for the most part, man, never gets into the political end of things. There's times where I wish accounts as big as his would, but one of the reasons his account and a lot of other guys get so big is because they don't get into the political end of things.
Has already been called to testify on Capitol Hill about this failure. Back to you in Durham.
A lot of unanswered questions there, Josh. One more for you. Do you know, after all the people were cleared from the scene, they had to leave a lot of personal belongings, including possibly some walkers and wheelchairs behind? Do you know if those people have been able to retrieve those belongings since this situation happened?
Yeah, Anthony, it's a real mess. As you could imagine, there's all kinds of things left behind. And no, it's a giant crime scene. So people have been told they have to wait to get their belongings. That actually includes the press, camera equipment, all kinds of things that were there as part of this rally have all been frozen as the FBI and the Secret Service work to get to the bottom of
So
all
far,
this.
they haven't been able to move anything.
All right, Josh, thank you so much. Bringing
It's
us
total
the
lockdown,
latest.
correct?
From what I've looked at and what I've seen. Yeah, from what I've looked at and what I've seen, yeah. If anything was left in that area when people basically they let people kind of stream out because they knew the shooter was down and they were letting people kind of filter out. But if anything was left there, no, it's there. Until they finish their investigation, doesn't matter whether it's a wallet, a cell phone, a walker, you name it, it's there.
It's staying there.
Now I did hear, speaking of that they had the shooter's phone, but they weren't able to get into it. Not yet. Which seems like if it was an iPhone, you had a corpse laying right there with a really good fingerprint. Hopefully it wasn't facial recognition. If it was that, it probably ain't gonna work real well. But they did have a fingerprint there, so I don't see why they couldn't have done that. Unless he just didn't have a fingerprint on it and he was just going by, some sort of, like some of the screens have where you draw a pattern to unlock or, whatever code to unlock. But, I mean, it could have been something along that vein. But definitely if it was, like iPhones or something where you had a fingerprint, seems like they could have just held his little dead ass shooter finger up there and gotten his phone.
I just don't know what to make of this anymore, Coop. It's just absolutely asinine that this actually even happened yesterday.
Man, we've been talking about it, and things are going to continue to get crazy ahead of this election.
And now we're seeing it happen.
Yeah, and it's it's been ramping up and been ramping up and been ramping up, and yeah, now we're really starting to see how crazy things are actually getting. Just got to Joe Biden speaking. Okay. Yeah, he gave a nice little teleprompter speech sitting at his desk.
What a joke.
I don't, well, I know why, because people are absolute idiots, but it seems like, especially in a case like this, you ought to have the president be able to come out there and string a thought together without a teleprompter, and give a kind of a layout of what was going on, his feelings, and then, not say battle box instead of ballot box. It's just, hey, Brooke, how's it going, my sister? How you doing tonight? So it's definitely, and I expect things to get even crazier in the next little while. There are some people talking that they're going to make another run at Trump at some point, which again I wouldn't doubt that. He is definitely not a favorite of all the swamp critters. So, Clint Eastwood, what's up, my brother? Let's see. Did I miss anybody else coming in? I don't think so. I think I got everybody coming in. Let's see. There was another. Let's see what this one is. Hold on. Wrong button, you jackass. Focus, you moron. Wonder how many folks donated to Trump today. That's going to be interesting to see, too.
I wonder what Obama's thoughts are after this happening.
I'm almost surprised him and a bunch of former presidents haven't already put out a bunch of stuff or tried to do any kind of pressers either. But I think really and truly right now what it may be is they're trying to leave this in Biden's court. So, Uncle Sniffy can look like he's coherent for a minute.
He ain't coherent.
No, he's not.
Anybody that thinks otherwise is a fucking idiot.
These teleprompters are so damn boring. I try and explain that. Oh, it is. Wow. You guys are they're getting better with time. My guys, take a look at that chart. Take a look at the arrow on the bottom. See the big red arrow, right? So that's when I left office. That was the lowest point.
Oh, yeah, Rich, 100%. That was pre-recorded. And they probably went through, I'd say way more than 3 takes. And then he finally got to the ballot box, and they were like, screw it. This isn't getting any better. Run it. It just keeps getting worse. Just run it. We're okay. Nobody will notice.
And that comes right from the government services, comes right out of Border Patrol. Take a look at that. So that arrow is the lowest amount of illegal immigration ever in recorded history into our country. And then
now remember, the shooter's basically in the direction he's pointing.
First president in the history of our country took over, and look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people.
That's on the opposite end of the stage from where I thought that would have happened. If that's where the dude got hit. Because the shooter was supposed to be, I think, somewhere right up over here. Unless when he got tattooed by Secret Service, he pulled the shot, which is likely. Yeah, let me see whether I can find the exact arrangement of the grounds that day.
One shot right here, Mike. One shot right here. No. The guy who shot. Go.
That's the surgeon that was trying to help. Yeah, that's the surgeon right here that was trying to help the dude. We saw an interview with him and an interview with this cat last night. But that should be the vet that actually the one that ended up getting shot in the head. Man, that is so fucking crazy, man. Yeah, could have been deflection too. Let me see if I can find something. Might not be something I can find quick. But I want to see the way the bleachers and everything were arranged in a. Here we go. Hold on. Ah, man, I hate freaking paywalls. I wonder if I can do this. Let me save it there. So if this was the actual. And then what was it? It was it IGR? Do you remember the name of the facility? Hold on, I think I can find it again real quick. AGR. Six layers. Satellite. I was all high techy and I could like superimpose this stuff. Let's see. That's what I think I've got the layout. Let me stop sharing this and then see. And I'll show two things. Here it is. So this is the layout of the bleachers. That's that little concourse the dude climbed up on to get to the roof. Now, in some of those pictures, it shows his body way over to the right-hand side. So if we look at this, where that dude was hit, It looks like the dude who got hit was over here. From what I'm looking at. See, I thought the dude would have been in the background or over here. But it looks like he's in here. Down in that other portion. So basically, looking down at the stage is stage left. So if you figure, and that kind of makes sense too. Let's see. Yeah, he was over more this way. So if the shooter really was kind of further out on that roof, or further right on the roof above that concourse, you basically take this line right here and move it up just a little bit for the angle of the shot. And yeah, that would make sense. Because we knew Trump was here. The snipers were up on these buildings. So it was laid out about like what I thought. Let's not get too crazy and fancy. We already got the crazy part down, Brooke. We might as well get the fancy part. We definitely got crazy down pat. Let's see. Let's look. Yeah, hombre, yeah. 400, inside of 400 feet. Way, way too close. But again, like that interview we watched a little bit of earlier, it said an officer actually got up on the roof with this guy and then ran when he got a gun pointed at him. And then that the snipers themselves had this guy in their sights long before he took the shot. They just couldn't get permission from the higher ups to go ahead and drop the dude before he started shooting. Which in that situation, especially considering these guys have good glass on top of their guns, they're not shooting Simmons scopes like we were picking on last night. They could see that this guy had an AR on top of that roof. They could tell he wasn't law enforcement. That should have been automatic. Just drop him. It's definitely crazy. Too many choices. It's definitely crazy. I'm sure. I don't know whether they were shooting 300 Win Mags or 308s. Definitely bolt guns. Matter of fact, if that shooter had been using a bolt gun, I don't think Trump would be with us. If he'd been shooting something like a Remington 700 and 308 or 30-aught, I don't think Trump would have made it. Which is funny because all these anti-gun people are jumping up and down about ARs right now, but of course they don't know jack shit about firearms. Oh, was she hit too? No, because there was two guys that got hit, from what they were saying. Yeah, she just passed out.
Come this way. I'm gonna get that picture. I'm not very good at DIY stuff.
Oh, shut up. No one cares. Talk about the DIY commercial, not you guys. Man, that is so freaking crazy. Governments are paying people to make stuff up on the internet. Stop repeating stuff someone else said. It kind of depends on the source, brother. I did not tell you to shut up. Talking about the ad, because I don't want to hear the ad. You guys know better than that. Look at this.
I really see something that said,
you know, the real crazy thought is, you know, President Trump missed that bullet by an angel's breath. He might have been on stage with his vice president as well. Not only could the leader of the Republican Party have been killed tonight, but also his emergent successor.
I was
standing
there, and all of a sudden it sounds like firecrackers going off. But then I heard the shots, and then all of a sudden somebody hollers, "Get down on the ground," and everybody's going down on the ground as low as they can get.
Only my wife could tell me to shut up. Yeah, that's about the way I roll.
Everybody out, get out of here now. And they ushered us out of the area.
Everybody stood together and everybody screamed out the Father's Prayer and everybody prayed together. That was amazing. That was something that was beautiful. That was really cool. Yeah. Everyone together in the stands praying.
Horrifying. I mean, the shot, I mean, and the stuff was coming off the side. For people to do that, I don't know. It's just, it's stunning. It's absolutely stunning. It's just going to drive people to even be more for him. I mean, especially when that picture comes out.
I'm very upset. I can't say for sure who's behind this, but I'll tell you what, it's only going to cause more division in this country because of the people that support President Trump.
Let me see if I can find a couple of the other videos that I saw.
Are you sick of your pistol?
Again, if you guys got any videos that you guys saw that you want to share, man, share them out in the chat. We'll look at them. Yeah, that man was about to cry. I can't blame him, man. That's, you know, we've all seen a lot of shootings and a lot of reports on shootings. And especially coming down off the adrenaline rush, it'll definitely trip your emotions for sure. Which, I mean, any kind of high stress situation where there's an emergency, whether it's a medical emergency dealing with someone. I've had to deal with a couple of those with some family and some other people. Generally, acting at the time, you just kind of go with it, you roll with it, you get it done. You definitely feel the adrenaline. And then after the adrenaline starts to wear off, man, it just, yeah, your emotions can go nuts. And I'm sure Trump was in a foul mood after that. That's probably why he didn't do a press conference that night, although he should have. Chessboard, what is up, my brother? I saw you in here earlier and I was going to say hi. And again, which Chess, I showed one or two of the videos you sent me. But again, if anybody's got a video or something that you found that you want to share, man, send them out. Post them in the chat. And of course, all you guys, G23 was posting almost everybody's channels in the chat earlier. But if you got your channel, want to post it in the chat, you guys know, post them. That's why you guys are the Blue Wrench Mafia. So let's watch some of this, and I'm going to grab something real quick.
And so when those first few bullet noises happened, there were people all around me, including myself, that thought that this was a firework or a BB gun, that it wasn't an actual shooting event. But as they kept coming, everyone kind of really quickly hit the floor, including the president. And it was a little bit of a dazed situation at that point. As we kind of peeked our heads back up, Secret Service had formed that kind of shell around him. And I got a little bit of footage of that. And the first thing I saw was him, reach out his fist to the audience. Come to find out later that he was saying, "Fight, fight," and that definitely caused a ripple through the crowd. Everyone noticed that. It really kind of energized everyone. He gets on stage, and I was standing right there, probably about 40 feet from him and the friends and family. And within the first 5 or 6 minutes, he immediately begins telling a series of stories about this chart that he had brought on about immigration that had to do with the difference between President Biden's record in when it came to the border versus his. And thank God for that chart, because I think it's because of his head turning left and right as he was explaining the things that were on that chart that first bullet actually missed him. There is that picture of one of the bullets whizzing by his head that one of the New York Times reporters got. I think the only reason that he didn't get hit today is because that chart was on the television and he was turning his head. The president was maybe at 2 o'clock to my right. I turned to my left at 10 o'clock, about 40 feet away. In the bleachers, it was really clear that something was going on. Come to find out later that was one of the other victims. There was a lot of blood. There were several people who seemed to have blood on their shirts. I guess they were trying to take care of that person. They were carrying him out. It wasn't super clear whether it was on a gurney or a stretcher or just with their arms and legs, but it was very clear that someone had been much more seriously injured than the president, and there was visible blood everywhere. It wasn't really much when it came to President Trump, at least from the angle that I was at. You see in the pictures later that his ear got clipped and that he was bleeding a lot, but it was this really grisly scene to our left with what was going on with the bleachers. The audience wasn't like what you'd expect out of a crowd that just experienced something like this. Everyone was really quiet. There were a few women crying.
Now, I wonder, I like him talking about that. I wonder how much of that you can chalk up to just your standard normalcy bias. Because there were a lot of people that reacted very quick, and there were some people that were just, I mean, until you had a few shots going out, they were still standing there looking lost. Yeah, in shock, definitely. But you definitely freaking saw a lot of people when they saw Trump get up and actually walk off the stage, stand up and start cheering. Of course, right around that time, they can hear all the law enforcement out there yelling, "Shoot her down, shoot her down." So, I mean, they were pretty decently in the clear at that point from what it looked like, but still. Yeah, like looking on watching on TV and looking to see what happens next. Yeah, definitely some normalcy bias for sure.
They were, saying, "I can't believe they tried to kill him." But President Trump raising his fist really reassured the audience. And the overwhelming feeling was both care and concern, wondering if he was okay and being glad that it seemed like he was okay. There was no stampede out of the arena that you would expect in a situation like this. And as I was walking back to my car, it's about a third of a mile walk back to the car. Most people.
Hi, Samantha Fish here. I'm a blues artist here in the Dream Giveaway Garage today. This giveaway brings.
Don't care who you are, lady.
They weren't hysterical. They weren't, freaking out. They were just having these quiet, muttering conversations, hoping that the president was okay. It was a really striking.
Oh, there were a lot of people, especially up towards the front, that were turning around, yelling at media, basically telling them, "You're the reason for this. F off." Oh, I ain't saying the challenger didn't look good. I just don't care who she was. Watch, I'll figure out who she is and be like her biggest fan. But right now, I ain't worried about her.
Vignette into the kinds of people who come to these rallies and why they come to them. They really love the president. They really support him. And in that moment, above and beyond his their own personal safety, they were worried about his. Yeah, so everyone had to go through metal detectors. There was a long line of Secret Service. I got through one of these expedited lines, and so it was a little bit shorter, but everyone had to walk through metal detectors. Everyone had to take out their phone and their keys and their badges, and there was stuff being taken away. There was stuff that wasn't allowed in, and so it seemed as airtight as security can look at something like this. The real crazy thought is, President Trump missed that bullet by an angel's breath. He might have been on stage with his vice president as well. Not only could the leader of the Republican Party have been killed tonight, but also his anointed successor. And so
See, hold on.
it's just a real lesson.
Let me pause that. See, Trump was on the stage right here. I think the dude that got clipped, or both of the people who actually took rounds, or all three, I should say, one was killed, two were wounded, were up here.
And how
let me back that up
abrupt
a little bit.
I got through stuff that wasn't like this. The real crazy thought is, President Trump.
So the snipers, I think, were up on this roof. See if I can get a little bit better idea of that.
By an angel's breath. He might have been on stage with his vice president as well. Not only could the leader of the Republican Party have been killed tonight, but also his anointed.
There it is. So here's Trump. Probably straight line to that building if we were looking at. What did I do with that image? If I was looking at that other image. Yeah, it looks like that shot would have been coming in basically right through here. So it would make sense if he got tattooed and slung a couple rounds off that the people getting hit would be over here. Man, this whole thing is so just insane.
Successor, and so it's just a real lesson in how
Ed, what's up, brother?
Can be, and we missed a historical pivot moment tonight in the future of the country on many levels because the president is going to make it okay out of this. I do think that this should be a wake-up call to congressional Democrats and Democrats around the country, saying like, hey, words have consequences.
There's no doubt, Mike, that there's other stuff going on where we're all watching this. Now, part of it is because there's always stuff going on. And part of it is that powerful people know that when an event like this happens, they can kind of use that to take everybody's mind off of what they're actually doing. They really are the never let a tragedy go to waste kind of people, which is why we're seeing more of these idiots jump up and down and call for more gun control. Even though, as a lot of us have said, if that kid had been using a standard bolt gun, Trump wouldn't be there. So but it is what it is, man. These are the times, and I expect stuff to get even freaking crazier than this. Really and truly, the last thing we want to see is someone go out and try to, again, like avenge Trump or do something to the left over this. That's the last thing we need, is for that to escalate any further, especially from the right side. Let the leftists go as crazy as they want to go. Yeah, were you right about that too, Chess? And I'm sure there are a lot of Democrats that, man, like watching Chank yesterday, that are just beside themselves because Trump didn't run like a little girl when this happened. You know, he stood up, showed that he was okay, left being pretty well defiant. Yeah, it's that part right there has really, really got a lot of the left tangled up on themselves right now.
If you keep saying that this guy is the second coming of Hitler, some wacko out there in a country of 300 million people is going to take you seriously and say, I can be the person who stopped Hitler in his tracks. And so it's a clarifying moment on that front.
Yeah, the RNC tomorrow should be pretty interesting, especially if Trump does go ahead and take the stage.
Sure. Basically, what happens is a protective advance is done for anywhere between 5 and 7 days before the event. The detail will work with the local Secret Service office in that area to help liaise with state, local, and federal partners in that area to help us, the Secret Service, develop a very robust protective element within that venue. During that 5 to 7 days, the agents who are assigned to that protective advance will cover every possible what if that could happen at that venue. Again, where are the motorcade routes? Where is the airport? How long does it take to get to the airport? Let's develop a plan with the local police who are going to assist the motorcade and things of that nature. Again,
He should, Bob.
99.9% of the time, all of those things are done, and many of those things
let's
don't
see
have
if
to be implemented. But here's a
find
perfect
this
situation
picture I was looking
where it
for
looks to me
earlier.
like a very good protective advance was done. Unfortunately, we had an incident, but the bottom line here is that the former president, was taken out of that venue and appears to be somewhat safe, although it appears he may have some injuries, but he is alive, and that's the most important thing here, as are all of the agents that are around him. There may not be anything that could have been done, and this person was able to perform this nefarious activity without being detected by the Secret Service for some reason. Don't know the answer to that, but I can tell you the Secret Service, the FBI, and those local, state, and federal partners are going to be looking at this with a fine-tooth comb.
It'll be interesting. When we thought it, when the reports came out, one of the initial, or probably the second guy that they called out being the shooter, he was absolutely just leftist, whatever. But then they find out it's this dude, and this guy trying to look at any social media to see if he's got anything. They pretty well wiped that really quick. Either that or this kid really never had a whole lot of presence. Mike White, what's up, brother, man? How are you? But I still say not controlling the entry and exit to that facility was an absolute horrible mistake.
And being able to send out a message to all the details now to make sure that whatever happened here, there are no copycat situations moving along, or to make sure that everybody that we're protecting in open air venues like this is double checking, triple checking, and quadruple checking everything that needs to be checked.
This evening we had what we're calling an assassination attempt against our former president, Donald Trump. And we have a number of agents on scene. Again, at this time, we are not prepared to identify who the shooter is. We are close to that identification, and as soon as we are 100% confident in who that individual is, we will share it with the press.
The immediate focus was life safety, getting the former president out of there, and to care, getting care to the other victims, and trying to...
Let's see. Let me show this. So this was a picture that popped up. Okay, yeah, I see what it's saying there with the added context. You can see the difference in the two fabrics. This is the Secret Service agent that's wrapped around him, and that's just a fold in the jacket. So yeah, I see that now. Hey, sometimes community notes actually do make sense. Let's see, there was another couple of videos. Let's see, this was one of the pictures of that facility, and initially we thought he was way off to the left-hand side of this roof, but he wasn't. He was laying over here. You can see the concourse that he climbed up on to get up to the roof itself. Let's see if this is one of the ones I was thinking about.
You can see the guy down.
Yeah, that's a shooter. After he had a run-in with a really high-speed round. But you see how everybody, the guys that were sitting here watching that were right next to this damn building, they're the ones who originally started alerting the police that this asshole was up on the roof.
You can see the guy down. I think they hit him because the guy looks dead.
Oh, they hit him a few times. Yeah, they hit him a few times. Let's see. There were a couple other cell phone videos I looked at earlier that were freaking. Oh, this is one a couple of guys sent me. It looks like. So you see the snipers up here. There's one sniper kneeling right there. There's one sniper that's crouched over his bag over here. Both of them are already on the guy on the roof. They are already sighted in on him. First, I was thinking, is this for real? Yeah. See, I had no idea, Mike, that any of this was going on. I had laid back down that afternoon, just chilling out since the wife and kids are out of town. I'm being lazy, and my phone started blowing up. I was like, oh, fine, I'll get up and look. My wife is the one who told me about it, and at first I thought she was like just pulling my leg, and it was just probably less than 4 minutes after they got Trump out of there. I walked into the office, cranked up the rally stream, and backed it up. Like I said, literally probably 4 minutes, and saw what was happening or what had happened. So now we're looking and finding a lot of the cell phone videos and stuff. But
months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened. And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
so yeah, that looks like that dude got off a few more shots than what we initially thought. Let's do this. We're gonna slow down some playback speed on that real quick. Back it up. You'll see the sniper. He comes off of his scope for a second.
If you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
As he comes off his scope, gets back on his scope. There was another video that actually showed the recoil when he made a shot. But that's, we're hearing more and more that these snipers were on that guy. They just couldn't get permission to damn shoot. Well, see, and I originally thought that too many, but there's quite a few more reports coming out now that these snipers were on him for over 2 minutes watching. And I think part of that may have come from the cop that ended up getting scared off of the roof, calling stuff in, because it took the guy a little bit longer to bear crawl up to the roof to get to where he could get to the peak of the roof to actually try to get a shot. But the snipers were on him. They just couldn't get permission. They've got to call it in. Supervisor's got to say yes, no, pull the trigger. And what it looks like is the supervisor was dragging their feet, and that guy cranked off a couple of rounds, and then they drilled him. And that's when I think it looks like where he probably pulled a couple shots, and unfortunately launched a couple of shots into the crowd. It's definitely some wild stuff, guys, and expect this stuff to get crazier. Hold on, this looks like it may have been a little bit earlier. Maybe that was after the shot.
He's on the roof, buddy.
Those guys are right down underneath the building, the adjacent building. Oh, that is for the thumbnail for it. It showed the sniper standing up glassing. Just kind of trying to slide through and see if there's anything that. See what this is. If this is before the shot.
Okay, this is who's here so far. And when it pours, they have a couple tents for people. And further up, you have some porta potties. Now I'm going to zoom in. All the way up here is supposedly the platform where President Trump.
So that was before the rally. People just getting set up.
To me, as you're trying to figure out if you're okay, what's going on, was he shot, was he wounded? Then we heard him on the microphone, Shannon, saying, "Let me grab my shoes," as they tried to take him off. So we're just trying to figure out what happened.
Yeah, that was the dude we saw earlier from another vantage point. It's definitely crazy times, guys. So let me stop sharing that. I'm going to try to take a look at something else real quick. Yeah, for the most part, Mike, people didn't panic. There were a lot of people that reacted to the shots and got down pretty quick. And then as soon as they heard shooters down and then they saw Trump get up, that they were up screaming, waving. But nobody, well, that in one video you saw that a chick did just absolutely pass out. But for the most part, man, it didn't turn into this absolute pandemonium where people were running through the stands and knocking people over. And it's really surprising how people reacted to it. Yeah, we definitely need a lot more info, brother. What are you asking about, Chess? Dude got up to the roof. If that's what we're talking about, I don't think he used a ladder. We looked at that facility. Hell, I'll roll back to it now. Remember, we looked at the facility itself last night. So let me share this and I'll show everybody in case someone wasn't here last night. So this is a facility. There was another picture I had that showed either an AC back here or something, but this is a concourse he jumped up on to get up to the main roof, and then came across this main roof here and was probably right up towards the peak when he tried to make his shots. So definitely for anybody that's half-ass mobile, it wasn't hard to get up on that roof. I wish I could find that other view or that other picture. But like I said, it shows some sort of utility box or some sort of AC unit back there that would have made it a pretty simple jump to get up to this concourse and then up to that roof line. So I don't think it was a situation where he like toted a ladder with him or anything like that. It's like I said, it was an absolute failure. Here, let me go back to an aerial view of this facility. I'll show you. With something like a Trump rally going on, I don't see why in the world they didn't have these entrances into that facility completely locked down. Now, I never did hear exactly where they found this dude's van. So he could have parked a little ways away and came through the parking lot and then got up down here. So I don't know. It's that facility with anything with a raised platform around there should have been an absolute no-go zone for anybody during that rally. Let's see. There was another. Where's it at? See if they're putting out anything. I thought there was a Secret Service press conference again today. Let me see something. All right, this was a short statement from Biden. I'll see if I can find that. Yeah, this wasn't the one from yesterday because he's getting flanked by Kamala and A.G. Garland. Let's look at this. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's pretty much right. But there's definitely no doubt they're already using this for more calls for gun control. And, oh, we need to ban AR-15s. And so I haven't watched this yet, so we'll see what they say.
Good afternoon. Last night, I spoke with Donald Trump. I'm sincerely grateful that he's doing well and recovering. And we had a short but good conversation. Jill and I are keeping him and his family in our prayers. We also extend our deepest condolences to the family of the victim who was killed. He was a father. He was protecting his family from the bullets that were being fired. And he lost his life. God love him. We're also praying for the full recovery of those who were injured. And we're grateful to the Secret Service agents and other law enforcement agencies and individuals who risked their lives literally for our nation. As I said last night, there is no place in America for this kind of violence or any violence for that matter. An assassination attempt is contrary to everything we stand for.
Oh, I bet he was, Chess. I would have been too.
It's not who we are as a nation. It's not America.
For the love of Christ, connection. Just hang with me. Crappy ass internet. All perfectly orchestrated, yeah. Yeah, if I was Matt character, yeah, I'd be pissed off too. This dude wearing a demo shirt and then going out and doing something like that. But you can't control what people do. Not the type of shoes he wears, the type of pants he wears, or the shirt he wears.
Than that right now, unity. We'll debate and we'll disagree. That's not going to change. But we're going to not lose sight of the fact who we are as Americans. Look, Vice President Harris and I were just briefed in the Situation Room by my Homeland Security team, including the Director of the FBI, the Secretary of Homeland Security, the Attorney General, the Director of the Secret Service, my Homeland Security Advisor, the National Security Advisor, and we're going to continue to be briefed. The FBI is leading this investigation, which is still in its early stages. We don't yet have any information about the motive of the shooter. We know who he is.
All of it right now, man, is a giant game of cover your ass.
I urge everyone, please, don't make assumptions about his motives or his affiliations. Let the FBI do their job and their partner agencies do their job. I'm instructed that this investigation be thorough and swift, and the investigators will have every resource they need to get this done. Look, as this investigation continues, here's what we're going to do.
You know, maybe if you guys weren't so wrapped up trying to get Granny from January 6th thrown in prison, you would have saw this guy coming. Just a thought.
First, Mr. Trump, as a former president and nominee of the Republican Party, already receives a heightened level of security. And I've been consistent in my direction of the Secret Service to provide him with every resource, capability, and protective measure necessary to ensure his continued safety. Second, I've directed the head of the Secret Service to review all security measures for the Republican National Convention, which is scheduled to start tomorrow. And third, I've directed an independent review of the national security at yesterday's rally to assess exactly what happened. And we'll share the results of that independent review with the American people as well. And finally, I'll be speaking more about this tonight at greater length from the Oval Office. We must unite as one nation.
In my pre-recorded speech.
We must unite as one nation to demonstrate who we are. And so may God bless you all and may God protect our troops. Thank you very much.
Hold on. Does he answer a question there? It's got a couple seconds.
President, when you spoke to President Trump yesterday, what did he...
This guy walks like a fucking mummy.
Tell you, sir. Mr. President, shifting your campaign strategy, Mr. President, do you regret?
I wonder if they had ice cream right outside the door for him. You did so good, Joe. Here's your ice cream. You look like Mr. Burns. He damn sure does. There were reports not too long back that they were trying to get Trump kind of enhanced Secret Service protection, and the Biden administration shut that shit down. Now, I'm not blaming Biden and them for the shooting. I blame their rhetoric for it. But I'm not blaming them for the shooting. No, they're good. They'll be back to that shortly, Mike. Definitely the people out on the far fringes. I mean, there are some that are already posting stuff that they're just fucking sad that Trump didn't catch it right to the tee box. There's definitely some people in this world, man, that are absolutely vile people. On the left and on the right. You can't leave some of the crazy ass people on the right out of that, but generally when it comes down to it, a lot of the real violence that we've seen is coming from the left, whether it's burning cities down or let's see if I can find. All right, that was a replay of Biden's speech. Let's see. Hold on. We'll listen to the potato again in his from the Oval Office address. That way, anybody who missed the whole battle boxes instead of ballot boxes gets to hear that. Look like a priest. Yeah. Hillary trying to get a refund now? Yeah, probably. I told him to use the other gun.
We're a fellow.
This is, of course, probably pre-recorded, probably a few different takes into it. It definitely doesn't have that feeling that he went through this live, in-person speech. It is amazingly robotic and scripted.
Americans, we must stand together. Yesterday's shooting at Donald Trump's rally in Pennsylvania,
brother,
calls on all of us to take a step back. Take stock of where.
All right, connection. What are you doing again? Just for no reason, it just drops to the floor.
How we go forward from here. Thankfully, former Trump is not seriously injured. I spoke with him last night. I'm grateful. He's doing well, and Jill and I keep him and his family in our prayers.
Did he say not seriously injured?
Last night, I'm grateful. He's doing well, and Jill and I keep him and his family in our prayers. We also extend our deepest condolences to the.
Hold on.
How we go forward from here. Thankfully, former Trump is not.
Thankfully, former Trump. Yeah, like he isn't the present Trump.
Not seriously injured.
Yeah, not seriously injured. Yeah, he just literally said not seriously injured.
Spoke with him last night. I'm grateful. He's doing well, and Jill and I keep him and his family in our prayers. We also extend our deepest condolences to the family of the victims who was killed. Corey was a husband, a father, a volunteer firefighter, a hero, sheltering his family from those bullets. We should all hold his family and all those injured in our.
Oh, I'll find it after we watch this. Josh Shapiro gave a press conference earlier today, talking about the shooting, talking about the people that got shot, and this dude that actually died. Bob, what's up, brother? Bob, you there?
Greetings. Yep.
All right, now we got you.
Yeah. Joining in after I heard a bunch of this crap. Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Hello?
Now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we got you now. How you had me thinking I was muted for a second.
Yeah, it's like I thought I had tested it. Oh well. Yeah, I've just been listening to this crap all day.
Dude, that was another day. I played lazy and slept in for most of the day, and then finally got up and started looking at some more of this coverage. And when I saw President Biden was going to do his address, I decided to go live again tonight.
Sleeping in. I was too tired when I saw you on last night at 9 my time, and it's like, all right, well, I'll check in tomorrow. It's like, wake up 6 hours later, you guys are still on.
Oh yeah, we rolled for a long time.
Yeah,
it completely devolved into just a whole lot of mayhem, which is great. Everybody needed a laugh.
I was there at the end.
Absolute horse shit.
Ongoing investigation.
Yeah,
We do not know the motive of the shooter yet. We don't know his opinions or affiliations. We don't know whether he had help or support, or if he communicated. Do know. A former president was shot, an American citizen killed, while simply exercising his freedom to support the candidate of his choosing. We cannot, we must not go down this road in America. We've traveled before throughout our history. Violence has never been the answer, whether it's with members of Congress of both parties being targeted and shot, or a violent mob attacking the Capitol on January 6th.
I like how he tries to throw both parties in there to be targeted and shot. But the only ones, the biggest attack I can remember were congressmen like that were shot, which when that dude went and shot up the Republican practice for the softball game. That wasn't targeting both parties. That was targeting the Republicans.
Yeah.
What's up, Outlaw? How you doing, brother?
Hey, brothers. What's going on?
Shit, we just hanging again.
Hell yeah. I hated to have left so abruptly this morning. But I had to go to bed. Man.
You were good, brother. Yeah, no, you were good. You never got to apologize for bouncing, man.
Or brutal attack on the spouse of former Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, or information and intimidation on election officials, or the kidnapping plot against the sitting governor.
Now,
he was a Canadian.
Do you guys know which kidnapping plot he's talking about?
Wasn't it the one the FBI orchestrated?
Yeah, the one with Gretchen Whitmer, and all the guys ended up getting off on all the charges because they figured out they were all set up by the feds.
Yeah.
Gretchen Whitmer. Yeah, Whitmer was talking about that the other day, 2 or 3 days ago. But yeah, she was talking about it too, about the kidnapping plot, and it was a complete Fed fucking trap.
Yeah.
Sean, what's going on, brother? How you doing? Stretching Gretchen? Yeah. Oh man,
Or an attempted assassination on Donald Trump. There's no place in America for this kind of violence, for any violence ever. Period.
Now, you guys refresh my memory, but during 18, 19, and 20, when complete cities were getting burnt down, do you guys ever remember Joe Biden saying that the violence wasn't the answer then?
I don't remember a time he ever denounced Black Lives Matter or Antifa.
Uh-huh.
No exceptions. We can't allow this violence to be normalized.
Well, that was
the political record
2020.
in
That
this
was
country
still under Trump.
has gotten very heated.
No, well, it was under Trump, a lot of stuff in 2020, but it was still going on after Biden took office. But
yeah,
certainly even running as a candidate, you didn't have him out there going, "Hey, man, we don't need to be burning cities down. There's ways to do this without being violent." You had
he
Kamala
ran?
Harris.
I thought he
Yeah,
hid
you
out
had.
in his basement.
Now, what I was saying, you never saw him out
No.
talking about it. But
Yeah.
and Kamala Harris she was involved in some groups that had bail funds to get those people out of jail.
Yeah. Well, then you also had what's her name? I can't remember the older black lady who said it was during the cops trial. You know, if he's not
Maxine
convicted,
Waters? Yeah, was it Maxine Waters? Because she was running her smoker about a whole lot of violence.
You know.
Hmm.
Yeah.
We all have a responsibility to do that. Yes, we have deeply felt strong disagreements. The stakes in this election are enormously high. I've said it many times that the choice in this election we make in this election is going to shape the future of America and the world for decades to come. I believe that with all my soul.
Sean, what's up, brother?
I know that many of you.
Oh, just chilling.
Oh, hey, Sean. What's going on, brother?
Disagreement is inevitable.
Yeah, like I said, chilling, living the dream.
Yeah, about right.
And tired of living in exciting times.
That's what I tell everybody.
So this is basically
Yes.
the standard modus operandi, very vanilla Biden response to what happened,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same old cookie cutter. But I said,
Yeah.
Democrats only call violence out when it reaches a point where they can't ignore it, or it comes from someone on the right.
Yeah.
You never hear them denouncing their own people.
Oh, yeah, like I said, Maxine, get in their face if we don't get our way, Waters. Even though that's the calm quote, I believe her exact quote was an incitement.
I believe it
I
was.
remember.
It very much was. And if it was someone basically on the political right of the spectrum that had said that, the news media would have blown up that they're calling for violence.
Here's the thing: is let's say if it was reversed, what if Biden was the target? He was missed or assassinated. The right is not going to gloat about it.
No. And if it honestly, if that happened to Biden, if the situations were reversed, there would be cities on fire tonight over that. But you didn't see Republicans go out there and riot over this shit.
I haven't heard anything in news about any major retaliation either, which is thankful.
Yes,
they just went home and cleaned their guns.
Yeah, and I said it earlier. The last
had
thing
everything
that
in
we
working
need,
order.
Yeah, the last thing that we need would be someone on so-called on the right to go out there and try to avenge this act, and just basically turn the volume up past 40. It's already turned it past 10. Bernie, what's up, brother man?
I'm wondering if anybody's going out for gun grabbing again for ARs.
Oh yeah, they're already on that. All the big gun control names on X, Brady, Giffords, Mom's Demand, all of them are already
David Hogg.
Yeah, Hogg, they're already over it. We need more gun bans. We need more of this. We need more of that. Although it looks like this kid took his dad's rifle. I don't think it was a gun that he bought. It sounds like he took his dad's gun to do this.
Yeah, so it's like, well, did he break the law there, stealing his dad's gun? And I doubt his dad said would have okayed taking it for that.
Yeah. It's the same thing with a lot of gun control laws. If someone is going to go out there and murder an innocent person, they don't give a shit about any of your gun laws. So
no, somebody's going to use a weapon as a means to get what they want unduly. It's not going to stop them from acquiring a weapon to go and do it.
Or building one. Like
they're just going to have to work a little harder, but
but they're not going to
or
stop.
they're going to use a different weapon.
You look at like the Parkland shooter. He tried to get a gun or tried to get the gun but long before he turned 18 and couldn't get it. So he just waited till he was of age to get it. So if they had set the age at 21, he would have said, fuck it. He would have waited till he was 21 to get it. Or he would have found someone selling one in a person-to-person sale and got it. And this dude, again, if he had been using a bolt-action rifle, Trump would have been through.
Yeah.
It's part of human nature.
No.
Politics must never be a literal battlefield, and God forbid, a killing
cat.
I believe politics ought to be an arena for peaceful debate, to pursue justice.
No, you don't.
To make decisions guided by the Declaration of Independence and our Constitution. We stand.
No, you don't.
No, he damn sure doesn't.
You shit on the Constitution and
These people
the Declaration all the time. It's like they have a
he
perception
gets
of
to
what it
it.
is as if they never read it.
Well, listen to how many times
Dude,
he
if
says
they read it,
democracy
it
in
was
this
just
speech.
yeah. That's what I was about to say. If they read it merely to try to find the loopholes in it. And that's how they read it. They're just looking for loopholes.
That's what I think.
But yes, there's of course, I mean, there's a saying in Christianity that the devil knows the Bible better than anything. So,
well,
I mean,
he was there.
Well, the devil used to be an angel.
The devil was there.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's been there. I mean, I'm not a believer, but I've got a little bit of background knowledge.
Yeah, man, I'm not. It's not that I'm not a believer. I'm not card carrying, practicing, evangelizing right now, but I do believe. I mean, I believe in God, believe in the devil, heaven, hell, whole 9 yards. I believe it's taught completely manipulated a lot of times. And in a lot
it
of
most
cases,
certainly has.
Johnny, what's up?
Even after Jesus's ministry was finished, they got passed on to the apostles, and there wasn't any kind of organization around it for 600 years.
Yeah.
For in America, not of extremism and fury, but of decency and grace.
Oh my God.
All
All my
now-
animals are like, oh, you're talking. I'm going to go bother you.
Democrats talking about decency and grace is absolutely hysterical.
Face the time of testing as the election approaches. And the higher the stakes, the more fervent the passions become. This places an added burden on each of us to ensure that no matter how strong our convictions, we must never descend into violence.
I'll be right back.
The Republican convention will start tomorrow. I have no doubt they'll criticize my record and offer their own vision for this country. I'll be traveling this week making the case for our record and the vision, my vision of the country, our vision. I'll continue to speak out strongly for our democracy, stand up for our Constitution, the rule of law, to call for action at the ballot box, no violence on our streets. That's how democracy should work. We debate and disagree. We compare and contrast the character of the candidates, the records, the issues, the agenda, the vision for America. But in America, we resolve our differences at the battle box. You know, that's how we do it.
Did he say battle box?
At the battle box.
Power to change
Yep,
America should
he
always
did.
rest in the hands of the people.
Oh,
Not in the hands
Biden.
of would-be assassin. You know, the path forward through competing visions of the campaign should always be resolved peacefully, not through acts of violence. You know, we're blessed to live in the greatest country on earth.
I
and believe
wonder
that every
if
soul,
Biden
power,
reached out to Trump to
So tonight,
offer
I'm asking every
condolences and
American to
support.
commit to make
Yeah,
America
I heard
safe,
on the
make
news he
America-
called last
Well,
night.
Think about it. What's made
They
America
talked
safe?
briefly.
Here in America,
Yeah, he said it. He had a short press conference we listened to before this one from today, and said, yeah, he got to talk to Trump for a couple minutes, and So he did contact him, which,
all right.
I mean,
So
let's
that's still a good thing, even though I don't think any of us have any love for Biden.
No,
That's
it's
still good on him.
Biden's rhetoric in a lot of this, and the rhetoric from the left has incited a lot of this.
Yeah.
This isn't the first time someone tried to take Trump out. This was the closest they've gotten.
I was wondering about that because I'm pretty sure there have been many more attempts.
Yeah,
just
there
that
have been.
Secret Service, or when it comes to plots like that, which is on federal law enforcement, they can keep that quiet.
Oh yeah, real
entire
quiet.
time.
Be treated with dignity and respect. And hate must have no safe harbor. Here in America, we need to get out
Taking
of our
the doggle out.
silos, where we only listen to those with whom we agree. Where misinformation is rampant.
Makes no mistake
where
about
foreign
it.
actors fan the flames of our division.
That man right there and the whole Democratic Party would have rejoiced and jumped up and down screaming if that man had been shot yesterday and killed.
Oh, dude, yeah. They wouldn't have done it on camera for the well, some of them would have. The more extreme would have. But
right now,
they would have been
go
on
ahead.
camera. Oh, this is so horrible. And in the background, they would have been partying.
Right now,
I bet you the squad would have been holding hands and saying "Kumbaya."
Probably.
Right now, I got to imagine that they're feeling a bit of, oh shit, that was probably the best chance we had to take this guy out. Like kind of a sense of, we kind of wish it would have happened, but now we still got to deal with this. But now we got to deal with a martyr now and a completely sold out Republican Party that's not going to change.
Oh, no doubt.
Well, I'm wondering is like why they didn't put a deputy on each of those roofs. Just give them each a Playboy to read while they're up there.
Well,
just act as a scarecrow.
My question is still the same. Like I said last night, the security, in my opinion, failed. If me and you can sit here on a panel and say what we would have done, and it make perfect logical sense to tighten down the entire perimeter, the neighborhoods surrounding it, the businesses surrounding it, these people knew that. So why in the world? What happened?
It was
still don't get it.
Well, we hit it earlier tonight. One, the Overwatch, the actual snipers that were on Overwatch for Trump had this dude in their sights and were waiting on an okay to actually engage him. We're hearing a report now that an officer, a local cop, actually got on the roof behind this dude, and he pointed his gun at the cop, and the cop turned around and ran and jumped off the roof. And those are reports. So, but you definitely hearing more that the snipers were actually looking at this dude and trying to get permission to engage him. And they shouldn't have to wait for that permission. This dude is on that roof with a rifle. That shouldn't even have been a question.
Yeah, not like he's going duck hunting.
Yeah. And they got good enough glass. They can see exactly what this dude's got.
I mean, 150 yards from Trump's campaign stage. That business, I still say it, and I'll bank my common sense on it. That place should have been locked down like Fort Knox, had the private security all around it.
Yes. I don't see why there wasn't Secret Service on any rooftop around that event. Unless it's just a personnel issue. And that's highly likely because if Trump was, I know he was requesting more Secret Service and kept getting denied. But it seems like any high vantage point around that area, certainly within an average rifle shot, should have had a Secret Service agent or an officer sitting on top of it. I mean, that's
130 yards. You just need iron sights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 150, 200 yards. That's a very, very simple shot.
Yeah.
So there's some things going on here that's not mathing, and it's making me wonder if it was
there's definitely a lot of big ass failures. And when it comes to something like this, I know there's a lot of theories about stuff, but you have to understand in a lot of cases just how inept our government is. So for me right now, at least right now, I'm chalking this up to a simple personnel failure, basically.
Yeah.
That's where I'm landing right now. I still got to look and see where they found this dude's van, because I don't think his van was found at the facility. So it looks like, and I haven't found the location, haven't got it all the way locked down. From what it sounds like is this dude parked a little ways away and then actually, walk to make it to the facility.
Let me try to pull that up today. If you're talking about, because I saw a report today saying that the guy had bombs in a car or a van.
That may have been it. We were when Dark and Crump were on last night. They actually had the scanners pulled up, listening in the background, and the sheriffs and FBI, whoever else was there, law enforcement, had found his van. And were waiting on the bomb squad to get there to clear the van before they could do it. Reports I
That
heard.
sounds good, like good SOP in my opinion.
Very good.
This is the report that I found earlier today, and it says what to know. Latest on the shooter, the FBI named Thomas Matthew Crooks, 20, of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, as the suspected shooter behind the apparent assassination attempt. Law enforcement officials told AP that bomb-making materials were found inside the vehicle of the suspect and inside his home.
Goonbeam, what's up, brother? I saw you check in, and Brutal Bob checking in. What's up, my brother?
So was this kid planning on doing more than just shooting Trump?
I don't know whether he was planning on doing just more than shooting Trump, because to me that seems like an absolute suicide mission from the word go. Where for anybody with half a fucking brain at least.
What kind of vehicle was it?
It was some sort of van, from what I understood. I haven't got a complete idea on what the van was or anything yet. Crump and Dark, with those two going back and forth, would probably know pretty damn close.
Because I'm wondering if they're saying that there's bomb making materials, as in there is wires, there's solder kits, shit like that. Because they could say, oh yes, these are possible bomb making materials, but then do they have the explosive ingredient? Do they have a casing and things like that?
Yeah.
And it could have been
interested to see.
It could have been something as simple as, a pipe bomb, or it could have just been a bunch of shit where he had any kind of home repair supplies in the van, and they're like, "This is bomb making material."
Because if you look at a van for anybody who does plumbing or carpentry, yeah, you got materials in there that you can use to create an explosive device. You can't be for certain until you do full inventory and try to see if they actually attempted to make a device. You can't find this stuff out within less than 48 hours of the event.
For instance, they could have had bleach and ammonia and all that stuff. Those types.
I would recommend not saying specific ingredients that are well known to be used in devices. I was very vague in my description.
Well, I'll just say chemicals, like household chemicals.
Yeah, because any number of household chemicals.
The actual explosive ingredient.
So your average plumber's van will probably have enough stuff to do the job.
No doubt.
No doubt. Got enough to make a chemical device in it.
You have solder material.
Well, you can make a potato gun out of PVC, so you definitely make weapons out of that PVC.
Yeah.
Doggo.
Yeah, don't listen to Outlaw. Outlaw wasn't telling you ingredients for making bombs. Disregard.
It's definite, man. Your average household has the proper chemicals in it to make some pretty serious explosives. I mean, it's if you know the chemicals, not the hardest thing in the world to do.
I remember learning the recipe to mustard gas a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, mustard gas in and of itself is just nothing but basically concentrated chlorine gas.
Yeah.
Exceptionally nasty stuff, to say the least.
That's why they tell you. That's why they don't tell you make a nice big cleaner out of ammonia and bleach.
Yeah. Now there have been people that have fucked up and done that. And it doesn't
there's a
turn
tech
out well.
guy.
Well, gasoline and matches can become a really potent weapon if you're, savvy enough. But like you said, it could have been a suicide mission, knowing he was going to die.
Yeah, no doubt.
There's a tech guy at a company I was at a while back, and he said he used to mix. They would tread the fields near where he lived, and it drove all the mice into his house. And he said every time they did that, shortly after there, he'd make a bucket and he'd pour ammonia and bleach in the bucket and run out and, seal the house up. And he said it even killed the roaches inside.
Man, it's mustard gas is a nasty gas.
It got rid of the mice and it even killed the roaches. all that chlorine gas floating around the house.
Roaches aren't invincible, huh? Nice.
My uncle was telling me he was working with a guy one time, and my uncle worked for the levee board in Louisiana. I mean, for the vast majority of his life. And he was working with one of the guys, and it was actually his cousin. And cousin Bubba, well, he was a train wreck in and of itself. But he said Bubba mixed a bunch of shit in the damn bucket, and they were trying to clean something. I can't remember what it was. And Louis said he looked around, that bubble's all bubbling and fumes coming off of it. And he said he just took the whole thing and slung it out the door where they were at. And the damn thing blew up.
No,
like, Bubba, what in the hell did you put in that bucket? And Bubba went to naming all shit. He's like, you can't mix that. It was, man, I wished I needed one of these nights, if I could get Louis on a stream just to talk about Bubba stories. Goddamn, everybody would need oxygen because it's hysterical.
I think that's what chlorine does, is it displaces oxygen.
Their interest, not ours.
Yeah,
Let's remember,
it hits whatever moisture you have and turns into HCl. The chlorine gas hits water and it turns into hydrochloric acid. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, so it turns it into a corrosive when you inhale it because we're mostly water.
Yeah, and you have a bunch of moisture in your throat and lungs.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's different than say phosphagen gas.
It's very nasty.
Yeah, phosphagen gas it's not caustic. Mustard gas is. So it's immediately an irritant, immediately caustic. It definitely, when it comes in contact with that moisture, it is forming an acid right away. And it eats you up.
Definitely don't use Splenda for anything but sweetening.
Yep.
Here in America, our unity is the most elusive of goals right now. Nothing is more important for us now than standing together.
Wherever you have sweat or anything, a coop froze.
Make no mistake, that man is seething right now.
You're good. Nice to you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Looks like I'm back.
Yeah. Sorry if I speak and I'm over talking somebody. I apologize. I guess my timing is not on with everybody else.
No, we all do it, brother. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. I'm not.
No, I think he's talking about the time that he's receiving the signal and he's replying to it. We've already moved X many seconds beyond it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It happens to all of us.
Okay.
Make no mistake though. This man right here and the rest of them, I don't know what do you think they're going to try to pull, because they are definitely in a heap of trouble right now with the Republicans unifying around this.
I don't know, man. They've definitely, and again, I said it. Things are going to get a lot crazier.
Yeah.
I don't know what exactly they'll pull out of their ass, but there's definitely something up there that they got their full hand that they're trying to grab.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I don't see this getting any better before the election.
Nope.
And even depending on results of this next election, I see it getting an ass load worse. If Democrats win, they're going to attack our rights like we've never seen before. And if something happens and Trump wins, I hope you don't live in a wood home. Hope you got a bunker, because it's probably going to get burnt down.
Well, I think more important than just the presidential election is going to be the Senate and Congress seats that are open. Because Trump can't do anything without at least one of the houses of Congress on his side.
Yeah,
and he can't even get that. He couldn't even get that with a Republican majority in Congress.
No,
we're fucked either way. Who goes in?
Yeah,
it's Trump.
It's got to be too overwhelming, and it's got to be overwhelming with America First candidates.
Yeah. It's we talked about it on Red Dawn's channel a while back, and it's Trump at best buys us a few years.
Yeah, he's just been a stopgap.
Yeah, if Biden's in, and I've said it, if Biden's in, especially if they gain the House, hold on to the Senate, the Supreme Court will change one of two ways. You'll have conservative justice retire and get replaced. Biden's going to get at least 2 picks, or he's just going to go ahead and pack the court, because they already have legislation out there to do that. And they will, if they get the House and the Senate, they will ram that through. Biden will sign it, and we'll end up with 13 justices, the majority of them being leftist. And especially when it comes to a lot of the gun control, AR ban, mag ban cases, they will snatch those up as fast as they can. And it's going to be, yep, these bans are completely constitutional. Yep, these bans are completely constitutional. And we're going to be up a creek, to say the least, on that.
Well, they're not constitutional. Any gun control measure is an infringement.
Yes. But if you end up with a completely leftist court, that's where we're going to be.
No, they're going to find a way to make the Second Amendment be completely disregarded, or they'll find a way to just strike it down entirely.
Yeah, it's highly, that's the ultimate end goal of it. Before we get there, we'll just see more and more the ATF being let off their chain. You'll see more AR bans, more mag bans.
Well, they got to get rid of, or they got to reinstate Chevron in order to do that, don't they?
I was going to say that they need to overturn Loper right now.
If you get a far enough leftist court, they will not care. They won't even get in Chevron. They'll just say, "Yep, they can do this." They won't even touch it.
Or they can just they let the leftist circuit courts do what they want, just deny cert.
Yeah, well, they can definitely do that too. But see, the reason I think it would go federal is because, say, something like the Fifth Circuit. The Fifth Circuit tends to be really good on our rights and upholding constitutional provisions.
They're not good at civil rights.
Yeah, sometimes not so great. But if they just let it stay in state courts or circuit courts, that it only covers part of the states. If they run it up federal, any number of the cases that we're hanging on to trying to get up there right now, if they let those go to a leftist court, then that covers the entire country.
Yep.
And then it's, well, these things are banned federally, and they don't believe in actual states' rights, not unless it comes to some horse shit like, I don't know, legalizing drugs or something. They'll defend the shit out of that, which I'm all for that. I don't think it should be federally illegal in the first place. But that's about the only
let
time they seriously.
individuals decide their own fate, even if it's self-detrimenting to them.
That's it. But and the thing is, as long as I'm not doing something to wrongfully deprive another person of life, liberty, or property, then the government shouldn't be involved in my life. Period.
Exactly.
Now, the minute I cross that line, that's what we have laws for. And that's when you see where someone needs to pay because they wrongfully deprived another of life, liberty, or property. That's when you see where the law kicks in, and that person needs to go to prison, or they need to pay restitution, or any number of different things to remedy that loss.
That's one of the primary purposes of government, is to ensure somebody is not unduly harmed, and if they are, they petition the state to they present their case and go, hey, fucking John Smith over here, he stole one of my cattle, stole one of my horses. This is very important to my livelihood. And he brings supporting evidence, and it's beyond reasonable doubt. Well, Joe Smith now has to either pay restitution, prison time, fines, etc.
Or any combination of it.
Yeah, because government's role is to protect the rights of the individual, not the collective.
Yes. And see, that's the way it's supposed to operate. But now you've got so many just NPCs, non-playable characters out there that are so happy for the government to do anything just because they agree with it. They don't care. They think the government's there to feed them, to protect them, to right the wrongs of society. And that was never government's role. It was never supposed
to. Well, if we're a collective, or designed to be a collectivist type of government, then yes, but we were not designed for that. We're designed as a republic. Because democracy is just mob rule.
Yes.
And when you've got a majority who can abuse the minority legally, then you create strife, and you create the recipe for civil war.
Yeah, well, you absolutely destroy freedom at that point. That's why I've said many times, democracy and freedom can't exist in the same world. They can't. Democracy itself is absolutely antithetical to freedom.
Well, that's why it's also the individual citizen's responsibility to be vigilant, not only towards what government is doing, vigilant to local, state, and federal security. It's the individual, or when it was originally designed, it is the male household, or male head of household, and landowners. And I do understand that we have definitely changed since then, but what should not change is the same exact rights that were there at the beginning.
Yes.
And the way that they're supposed to be executed as far as the law is concerned.
Yeah. The point about the way it was initially set up is those were the people that had skin in the game. Those were the people that were going to suffer the most from government doing anything. So they were the ones that had the right to vote. They were generally plugged in, generally paying attention. And I'm all for people voting these days. I just wish the people that were voting were actually informed and not just voting on emotion.
Well, that's why the left is so inflammatory with their rhetoric, because they're relying on people who vote with emotion, and there is an entire demographic of the population that is very prone, 50 to 52% of the population that is very prone to their thought processes happening through emotional reasoning versus logical reasoning.
Yeah, I would put it way higher than 52, 54%.
I'm trying to disguise I'm talking about women without saying women.
Well, I mean, there's no doubt that women do a lot of
But
things.
I think you're correct. It's more than 50% of people think emotionally versus logically, especially with the way we have created a a feminine or a much more feminine male population today versus, I think, previous times in history.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. None. Vanessa Kitty, what's up, my sister? Since we're talking about women, you been riding lately? We got Agarizer checking back in. He's here for some more pain. That's all we do around this joint is nothing but pain. You guys already know.
Pain.
Well,
Pain.
men who like shoes and men who like man buns.
I like work boots and I have long hair, so that kind of cuts me out of both of those.
Yeah, it's like a speedball.
Let me see if I can find this. Yeah, here it is. We'll listen to this and then we'll talk about it. But yeah, we went the left is absolutely demonized any kind of Trump supporters. Call us, Nazi supporting whatever's. And Josh Shapiro, if you guys don't know who he is, he was the AG in Pennsylvania. Then he got the governor's spot. He's the one who sued Polymer 80, tried to shut down all the gun shows. He's an absolute leftist little wannabe tyrant. But you'll hear how he talks about the dude, the supporter who got shot tonight, and actually talks about him like he's a human being for once, even though they've been demonizing anybody who supported Trump forever, which is two-faced as fuck, to be honest with you. Let me see. Well, let me do two things. Let me shut that, and maybe my connection won't go retarded. It probably still will. Who am I joking? No, the saying, I wouldn't shit you. You're my favorite turd. Oh, volume, jackass.
Pennsylvania. An honor to be here today. About a wonderful community.
Do you want me to play it and share it? I've got a really good internet connection.
What? Yeah. If you want to do that, yeah, roll it. If you just look up Josh
you want
Shapiro
to put the URL and can you drop the URL in private chat and I could just get right to it?
Yeah, I can roll that. Private chat, you dumbass. Private chat. Hey, look, I'm like a chimpanzee with a keyboard over here.
All right, so that's got audio. I'm gonna have to throw that over here.
Chimp would at least type Shakespeare. I don't think you would.
Hey, I might as well have a fucking coconut.
Oh, I shared the wrong screen. Sorry.
Like
entire screen. I moved it over
coconut.
to the other one. There we go. That should be the right one.
Hey, it's round. It's really hard. It's not a rock. It's got liquid in it.
This is an ABC News special
There
report.
it is.
Now reporting, David Muir.
Good day, I'm David Muir. We're coming on the air because we're about to learn more from law enforcement and Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro on the assassination attempt on former President Donald.
Is there a timestamp that's best that you're aware of?
Nah, just keep going until
Trump at that campaign
tell the
rally
monkey's
in
talking.
Pennsylvania last night.
All right.
As we await them to approach these microphones, these are the images the world has now seen. The former president grazed with a bullet that pierced the upper part of his right ear, the sounds of gunshots at that rally. And then, as you saw there moments ago, Trump reaching for his ear, looking at his hand, and then dropping to the ground. Secret Service agents rushing in, swarming the former president, rushing him off the stage, ushering him to a waiting SUV. You can see authorities coming through the door there right now. Of course, what we saw play out in Pennsylvania less than 24 hours ago, happening just moments after that rally began. Let's listen to the governor and law
Good
enforcement.
afternoon. I'm Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro. I'm honored every single day to represent the good people of Pennsylvania. I'm honored to be here today in Butler Township, a wonderful community, a community where people love one another, respect one another. Unfortunately, last night had to deal with tragedy in their neighborhood. I've just come from a briefing with the FBI and the Pennsylvania State Police. I'm joined today, of course, by Colonel Christopher Paris of the Pennsylvania State Police. Law enforcement will have more to share throughout the day. I'd like to make a few comments separate from the ongoing investigation. First and foremost, the assassination attempt on the former president, Donald Trump, last night is absolutely unacceptable and tragic. Lori and I are grateful that the former president is safe, and according to him and his...
You trying to get my attention, or you just trying to play?
No, I was fucking around. Goonbeam's in the chat, so anytime it's in the chat, I got to flash his flashlight.
All right.
Team is fine. It's also important to note that last night, 3 of our fellow Pennsylvanians were shot, 1 fatally, and 2 in critical condition. I've just spent time speaking to the families, and I want to offer my prayers and the prayers of all 13 million Pennsylvanians for the 2 individuals who are being treated at this time. We lost a fellow Pennsylvanian last night, Corey Comparator. I just spoke to Corey's wife and Corey's 2 daughters. Corey was a girl dad. Corey was a firefighter. Corey went to church every Sunday. Corey loved his community. And most especially, Corey loved his family. Corey was an avid supporter of the former president and was so excited to be there last night with him in the community. I asked Corey's wife if it would be okay for me to share that we spoke. She said yes. She also asked that I share with all of you that Corey died a hero, that Corey dove on his family to protect them last night at this rally. Corey was the very best of us. May his memory be a blessing. Last night was shocking for this community and for this Commonwealth, and I know for this country. Political disagreements can never, ever be addressed through violence. Disagreements are okay, but we need to use a peaceful political process to settle those differences. This is a moment where all leaders have a responsibility to speak and act with moral clarity, where all leaders need to take down the temperature and rise above the hateful rhetoric that exists.
Just forget all of our rhetoric.
Search for a better, brighter future for this nation. It's the work that I try to do every day here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And that's the work that falls to each and every American right now. And so I ask that you join me in prayer for the 2 Pennsylvanians who are in critical condition. That we continue to wish for a full and speedy recovery and pray for former president. And the Comparator family remains in our thoughts and prayers. They have some very challenging times ahead of them. They will have an empty seat at the dinner table for the rest of their lives. But we need to make sure that Corey's memory is forever a blessing. And here in Pennsylvania, we will see to it that that is the case. And with that, I'll be happy to try and take a few of your questions.
Governor, a lot of folks are starting to ask the tough question about whether that building that the shooter accessed should have been secured. Should it have been secured? And do the Pennsylvania State Police have any responsibility to have secured?
I'm not going to get into any questions answer any questions regarding the ongoing investigation. I trust that the FBI and the Pennsylvania State Police We'll keep you posted throughout the day and in the days ahead as to their investigation.
Governor, there were some.
That sounds like a cop-out.
Yes.
Because that's not part of the investigation. He can always say whether it was or was not their responsibility. He could just say, hey, the feds, this is kind of, the feds' territory. What was state police's responsibility? He could have just outlined it right then and there, but he just completely deflected.
Yeah, he could have defined it. But
well, he could have just told the truth. Hey, whenever the president's in town, the feds run the show.
The funniest thing about this whole thing is again, and one of the reasons I looked at it earlier, is they've described anybody that supports Trump as this evil dictator supporting piece of crap, whatever, the entire time. Now you see one catch around trying to defend his family at a rally, and it's all of a sudden he's the best dude on this planet. They actually describe the dude as he actually was.
As a hero.
Yeah. Which is, God-fearing, family guy. They won't say that normally. That they trash anybody who supported Trump. Oh, they're evil people.
I'll admit, I think Shapiro worded it very well. I don't know if he had a teleprompter to tell him what to say.
I don't think he had a teleprompter there. I think Josh is actually just speaking right there.
I think he's making it's like an interview question for the presidency. Not now, but maybe in the future. Be like, look how he handled this. Look how he handled that. Oh, that's kind of,
Josh Shapiro is trying to line himself up right now for a VP spot or a Biden replacement already. Because I still think
nobody
Biden
likes
the DNC.
Nobody likes the big names, but this gives him an opportunity to quote unquote shine.
Yes. It's completely self-serving.
All right. I'll continue to play.
The police had found in the suspect's vehicle. Do you have any update on those? And are you confident at this point the threat is over, that he acted alone and that the public is in fact safe?
The investigation is ongoing and law enforcement will update you on the status of their investigation throughout the day.
Share any more about your communications with former President Donald Trump or his team?
I have not spoken directly to the former president. I have wished him well. I think multiple times last evening through statements Lori and I have. The people of Pennsylvania, I know, were praying for him. And again, according to his team and himself, it seems as though he will be fine, obviously, relatively speaking. And we're glad to see that. Violence is never acceptable. I should also let you know that I did speak to President Biden.
Unless it's their people doing it.
He called me last night to make sure that here in the Commonwealth we had all the resources we needed. I assured him that we did. At the time, he had yet to speak to President Trump. I think they connected later in the evening, and he wanted me to know that he was trying to reach out to the former president. I think that was the honorable and right thing to do, and I'm glad that President Biden did that. We have no unmet needs at this time, and we're working in concert with our federal partners, and I let the president know that.
Governor, have you talked to the families of those two who were critically injured, and do you have an update on their condition?
I spoke to the family of one of them, and the other left a detailed message, and I'm not going to get into their status. That'll be shared by the Pennsylvania State Police and or the family later today.
Technically, he can't, even if he wanted to. HIPAA usually prevents that.
Yeah.
Because if he's got that privileged knowledge and reports it, he could be held liable, which is a very expensive fine.
Governor, will you be asking for flags to be flown at half-staff across the state, and also knowing that this is going to be a really contentious, even more so, a battleground state for the rest of
I just missed the last part of what she said.
No problem. The first was about the flags. The second, knowing that this is going to be even more contentious now in the state of Pennsylvania and that we're divided here, what is your message to people who live here?
I have directed that flags be flown at half-staff in Corey's memory, and our chief of staff is working through that process now. My message to all Pennsylvanians, my message to all Americans is to be firm in your beliefs, to believe what you believe, to advocate for what you believe, and to be engaged in the political and civic process, but to always do so peacefully. To remember that while we may be Democrats or Republicans, above all else, we are Americans. And if you look at the story of this great nation over the last 248 years, a nation that was born right here in Pennsylvania, it's been ordinary Americans at every single step of the way, rising up, demanding more, seeking justice, advocating for change, and doing so peacefully. And those who have advocated for such change peacefully, they have been the ones to bring that about. We have to remember that even in these times where there are real divisions, that we have to address those divisions through engagement in the political and civic process in a peaceful manner. That is incumbent upon all political leaders of all parties, and it's incumbent upon the public. I will tell you that notwithstanding the tragedy that we saw last night here in Butler, the awful tragedy, that every day when I'm around Pennsylvania, I see the very best of Pennsylvanians. People who do have fervent beliefs, people who do have passionate beliefs, but who engage in a peaceful manner, and who love their neighbors, and who engage with people in their communities, even those that they might have differences from. We need to learn from our history in this Commonwealth and in this country, and we need to bring our better angels forward and carry that forward into this political season. I'll take one more. Yes.
Can you expand on the situation of Mr. Pompidou's passing? Was he standing behind President Trump? You said he dove in front of his family. Is there any more detail you can provide about
His
that?
wife shared with me that he dove on his family to protect them. As for any other information, that'll be shared by law enforcement. Thank you all very much.
Now look at, let me show something I was just looking at while listening to that.
All right.
Something ain't fitting here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it could have been they moved the body afterwards, but so this is a group that was right down by the building the shooter climbed up on.
Mm-hmm.
Look, they're all pointing.
You hear the guy say they're all pointing?
Yeah, someone's on top of the roof. Look.
Mm-hmm.
There he is, right there. Right there, see him? He's laying down. See him?
Yeah, he's laying down.
So yeah, that building's not quite as big as what I thought. I think that's where the scale issue was coming in, because that's the concourse they climbed up on.
That's probably about 50 meters away.
Yeah, that's him.
What's happening? Yeah, look, there he is.
So yeah, I guess the position does fit now that I'm looking at it again, but that's him trying to get into position.
Oh.
See the people calling him out?
Mm-hmm.
And then show this one. So this is him, of course, after the shot.
Mm-hmm.
So there's his bag, there's his AR. I can't zoom in enough to really tell what the hell that is.
It looks like he's at the peak of the roof because it's got a slight angle.
Yes. Yeah, he was right
So
on the
he's going to have to be there to get his. Huh. I thought it was a headshot that got him. If it's a headshot, he shouldn't be rolling over, or his weapon shouldn't be that far away.
Nervous responses can be a little screwy. Now again, and you don't know. I don't know when this was. This could have been after law enforcement got up there and might have moved his rifle away from him.
There would still be somebody up there to maintain the scene. I'm not seeing anybody close enough, but it could be behind the trees too.
But this little box right here, that's the concourse he jumped up on to get to the roof.
So I got a share screen up. This is something that someone in our guild did.
Yeah,
found.
I saw that.
Hello, 4chan chat. I have reservations because federal employees, especially with Secret Service, they're at very significant risk of prosecution.
Oh yeah.
And losing everything they ever earned as far as benefits, retirement, etc.
I think
this is it's a release of compartmentalized information that should not be released yet.
Yeah. And see, this came by the time I saw this, I was already hearing reports that the snipers actually had that guy in their scopes, and they were waiting to get confirmation to take the shot. So, I mean, that could be something someone just did, kind of heard that report and then made this.
Yeah. Well, I can think of a few reasons why they were denied, because maybe at the time they didn't show a present and imminent threat, depending on what's going on with the subject. They just see a subject on the roof. But if they fire into the roof, those rounds pierce. Who gets hit underneath?
Yeah.
That, I'm not saying that's an excuse. I'm saying that is a possible explanation, because that's something that I would have to consider when I was in the infantry. Is you always got to be mindful of where your round goes after it hits the target.
Yeah, it's a common thing in regular civilian gun safety. Know your target, know what's behind it. Have a pretty decent idea of your background, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I was trying to see where there's anything that kind of new that popped up. That's the first time I've seen that video of the dude actually crawling up to get in position.
Oh, and in Razor Fist video last night, he managed to find an article that I've been still searching for, which is they have been requesting additional security service personnel.
Yeah.
Denied.
I've heard reports of it. I haven't seen anything solid on it, but I've heard reports that Trump and them had been requesting additional security.
Right.
And that basically the administration was going, no, we're not giving him any more enhanced security.
Yeah. What happens if their pettiness resulted in a successful assassination attempt? It delegitimizes the entire state.
Yeah. Which, I mean, that's one of the reasons maybe Biden and them were coming out so strong on things right now and covering their asses so hard. It's because they know that, more security had been requested, and they're trying to play the game now and just straight up cover your ass.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Let me go back to media and see whether anything new popped up there. Oh, I got to check this out. Trump Hitler's trending on X. Let's see what this is. Yeah, this looks like a bunch of people basically calling out the rhetoric from the left, calling Trump Hitler, and because I mean that's been the rhetoric from the left forever is orange Cheeto dictator, Hitler, Trump, anybody who supports them, basket of deplorables, all that kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I say Shapiro's statement tonight is nothing but a bunch of two-faced horse shit, because he's been on a lot of that too.
So something that Razorfist also brought up last night, he brought up a clip of Norm Macdonald years ago saying, oh, Hitler was so bad, so bad. Oh, but that was 50 years ago. I don't have a Hitler to hate. I wonder if I could find a substitute.
Oh, it's
modern times.
Became Trump.
Oh, we got one.
Yeah, because this shows one of Joe Biden's old tweets, and I think I remember seeing this one. Donald Trump is a genuine threat to this nation. He's a threat to our freedom. He's a threat to our democracy. He's literally a threat to everything America stands for. That's been.
You don't think that's gonna radicalize or be used for radicalization?
Yeah, you don't think that statement and many others like it are basically going to lead to someone trying to do something about it?
Well, I don't think we're ever going to find out because they're going to seize everything that they can on him, and his social media record's going to get sealed.
Oh, dude, if he had any social media presence, because we were looking for it last night and into this morning, if he had any
It looks
sort
like
of
it
social
got
media
wiped
presence,
out real quick.
yeah, if he had any sort of social media presence, it looks like it got wiped out before they even released his actual name, because they thought it was another guy for a little bit. Then they swapped it, said it was another dude who did have kind of a criminal kind of Antifa vibe. And then it came down to this dude, and then all of a sudden you search for social media and it's gone. Corn Pop, brother, how you doing? Corn Pop's over on the Rumble side. Which Corn Pop was in chat last night. It was good to see him again. It's been a while since we've shot shit.
Oh, yeah, I see what they're doing here with that meme. Now do the
this one?
left. Yeah, now put leftists talking about it and see if they can make stretches on similar rhetoric. That'd be too easy.
Let's look at this real fast just because we're here. This is more people.
Because we got Red Pill Rhino covered this last night, and we had people sharing stuff with us, and there was actually a Colorado state legislature or I don't know if he was Congress or Senate, but yeah, he was upset that it missed and very vehement about it. And we're all like, this is disgusting.
There's been a couple that I've seen on X, and I should have saved them, but I didn't. One was Death, like doing one of the claw machines, and it's trying to pick up something, and it said missed or something like that, or
yeah. It said
being going around that the shooter was a DEI hire.
It said, "Come on, little con man or something." It had a picture of Trump in the claw machine, and then under it said, "Damn it, I got Richard Simmons instead."
Yeah. There's been a bunch of it going around. Some of it's getting kind of
that's really weird because
shut down. I wish people were.
There was Richard Simmons, Shannon Doherty, and a couple other people who died last night who are big names.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Ruth. I think she died the night before.
Yeah. Sexologist.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. What did Richard Simmons die of? Good health? I mean, what?
Old age.
Yeah, I don't know. Good health.
They probably tried to pick up a fat chick that had an aneurysm.
A fat chick following him or something?
Probably so. He was trying to lift her up. He threw his back out. She fell on top of him, smothered him before she could get up.
Come on, you can do it. Shake those hips, shake those thighs. Come on, put on down those fries. Come on, you can do it.
Yeah. Meanwhile, freaking what's the guitarist for the Stones? It's not a drop of his own blood in his bloodstream. He's had so many transfusions.
Yeah, Keith Richards.
Yeah,
Keith Richards is basically embalmed.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere. He's basically embalmed. He's had so much damn heroin and shit pushed through his veins, heroin, meth, and everything else. He's not going anywhere. That's just the way life works. Trying to find a couple of these fucking retarded ass posts. And of course, there's a bunch of people running around saying this is all staged and.
Now, I'm pretty sure those people dying wasn't staged.
Yeah. I mean, trust me, I believe in some false flag operations. This just does not have that feel.
No, this was organic, and I do believe we witnessed the first assassination attempt fail. And recorded
Yeah, and
US
damned of it is. It didn't fail by much.
Right. I really do. I believe we watched the very first assassination attempt fail in this country on a president or a former president.
No, I mean, you got to figure Reagan was wounded. Who was it? FDR was wounded. There's been a couple others that. Who was it? Was it FDR? I think it was FDR. He had a speech in his jacket pocket that was so thick that the bullet went through the speech and didn't penetrate all the way.
Teddy Roosevelt.
Was it? Yeah, Roosevelt. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, different Roosevelt.
Yeah, the bull moose.
Yeah.
I think McKinley survived one in a similar fashion as well.
Yeah, probably so. At least it sounds familiar. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I'll verify real quick. I'll look it up.
Yeah, and of course, Reagan. I mean, Reagan was on damn death's doorstep.
Yeah, and one Secret Service guy died, and then another one died, or somebody else died years later. The press secretary, Brady, died years later.
The Brady group really started up trying to push basically a ban on all handguns right around that time.
Mm-hmm.
And
that was a freaking 22.
Yeah, and Brady is still going strong to this day.
Yeah.
Oh no, Garfield.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. No, Garfield was second president to be assassinated because it was Lincoln first. McKinley was. Oh, it looks like FDR did get an assassination attempt
William
in
McKinley,
33. Oh, but it killed a Chicago mayor. Oh, looks like Truman had one. 2 gunmen broke into the White House. Wow, I don't remember that in Truman. Kennedy. Gerald Ford faced 2 assassination attempts in 75. Then we got Reagan. Is this Bush Sr.? No, it's Bush Jr.
Well, I'll be right back.
Gerald Ford was the only president not elected by an electoral college.
Wait. Somebody threw grenades at Bush.
Shoes.
Really?
No.
Yeah, you remember the shoes that got thrown at him when he was in Iraq, I think?
Yeah, but this little note here is Bush was attending a rally in Tbilisi, Tbilisi, in 2005 with Georgian President Mikhail, I'm going to butcher this, Saakashvili. Okay, they were behind a bulletproof barrier when the grenade went off.
Oh, okay.
So, Teddy Roosevelt, yep. Kennedy. Oh, this is Robert Kennedy when he was a presidential candidate. And then looks like George C. Wallace, who was a presidential candidate in 72. Oh, he was shot and paralyzed from the waist down.
I gotta see.
There's a few of these I never heard of before.
Yeah, this political assassinations in the United States aren't a new thing.
No, but it's
Ghost,
not
what's up, brother?
common.
Nope.
But look at it. Hold on. Let me share this real fast because I just.
All right, Wiki. You got someone else I'm not aware of? As much as I don't trust you.
Yeah.
Oh. Andrew Jackson. I think I remember this. I think he beat the shit out of the guy who tried to shoot him.
I think so.
Yeah. Didn't Andrew Jackson still have like the bullet in his arm, his forearm?
Let me see. I'm reading through the paragraph.
Or was that? Did he get that in battle?
So if any of you guys know who this cat Destiny is, I've never really watched his content. He's a flaming fucking leftist.
He makes me fucking angry because he's a very, very smart person, but he argues
he uses power for evil.
ridiculous things.
Every time
he's one of those emotional thinkers that uses logic to get his way.
So get this. Listen to this.
Fuck it. Fuck the dude. The firefighter guy. Fuck Trump. Fuck the people that support him. I just want you to know, okay? Just in case you're confused or it seems like I'm, whatever. If one of you were in the crowd and you're a conservative fan of mine and you end up, getting blown away or whatever the fuck, I'm making fun of you the next day on Twitter. I am 100.
Wait, what?
Hold on, I'll play it again for the crowd. That way everybody
I'm sure he
hears
has
that.
any conservative fans after
Wow.
that.
Yeah, I'm not sure he has any conservative fans at all, but this is his take on the whole event.
Fuck it. Fuck the dude. The firefighter guy. Fuck Trump. Fuck people that support him. I just want you to know, okay? Just in case you're confused or it seems like I'm, whatever. If one of you were in the crowd and you're a conservative fan of mine and you end up, getting blown away or whatever the fuck, I'm making fun of you the next day on Twitter. I am 100%. Fuck it. Fuck the dude. The firefighter guy. Fuck Trump. Fuck the people.
What an oxygen thief. I won't even call him a piece of shit.
Confused or it seems like
He's just an oxygen thief.
Whatever. If one of you were in the crowd and you're a conservative fan of mine and you end up, getting blown away or whatever the fuck, I'm making fun of you the next day on Twitter. I am.
Can you send me that on private chat? I know some people who would love that.
I will hook it up right now.
That dude right there needs. Oh my god, bro!
And I got to see whether I can find more long.
I think his house recently got, or I think he was at his girlfriend's house, or his house, or an apartment. I think this is the guy who was cowering on his balcony as somebody home invaded him with a shotgun. His girlfriend got hit, and the police ended up taking the shooter out. I don't remember if it's him or not, or if it's another lefty. But I want to say it's him for some reason.
Let's see something.
No fear of repercussions from him, huh?
No. Well, he is rich, so.
What?
No, it was Hunter Avalone. It was Hunter Avalone that had that happen to, not Destiny. Brain finally kicked in. Yeah, I'm sure Hunter Avalone's probably saying similar stuff right now.
I would not doubt it. I mean, you got a lot of friends on the right that's just way out there on the ragged edge. But I don't think they match anywhere what you see from the average, just middle of the road leftist.
No, because even the middle of the road leftists or who are center left, they're sitting here going, what the fuck has happened to the party? Hell, even their darling Tulsi Gabbard said, screw this, I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out of here.
which I still don't trust her as far as I can pick my truck up and throw it. But
oh no, she wants reparations.
For whom?
I don't know. I don't think she's going to
Her
stop
Hawaiian people or what?
at blacks, because I'm sure she's going to include, yes, her Native Hawaiians, because she is one.
Yeah.
And apparently a lot of natives have still a lot of resentment towards the federal government for, colonizing them.
Basically, yeah.
But it was a different time back then. And hey, we could relinquish our states and our territories. We could always say, hey, you want to go on your own without our protection? Go right ahead. See how long that
Hawaii's
lasts.
too much of a strategic base for the U.S. They'll never do that.
Oh yeah, it's the U.S. ain't gonna get rid of it, not willingly or not without. When I say a fight, I mean a legal
they just won't.
or political fight. Well, what is it? Did they try to?
physical,
didn't the
legal, or
Supreme
whatever,
Court
they're not gonna get rid
say
of it.
secession was an illegal act, even though it's, I believe, the Constitution
Illegal?
protects secession. The original articles, not the amendments.
I don't think there's a amendment that speaks about secession, is there?
No. That's why it's not in the amendments, but I think it is in the original articles of the Constitution. I need to go back and actually just read it word for word, but I hate legalese. Yeah, it's a legal act.
Well, think about this. Why didn't you see anybody who was for secession, who actually led the secession movement, tried in court after the Civil War was basically won by the North? Why didn't they bring that to court?
When they won? Oh, why did they bring it? They brought it to the court after. Okay. Well, yeah, because they wanted to preserve the Union, and so they made what the South did illegal to do.
Yes. If it had actually went
in legalese.
If it had actually went, if it had actually went to the courts, and the courts read the Constitution, they would have decided that the South had every right to secede. That's why we're supposed to be governed at the consent of the governed. If you don't have a right to opt out, then you're not governed at the consent of the governed.
No, you're a prisoner.
Yes.
And I think Texas has a special provision in the treaty that made them annexed that they can opt out at will. I've heard that several times, but I've never read the provision though.
I haven't either, but it could be very well why typically when you've heard about secession, that Texas is one of the biggest ones that you hear.
Yep. Well, Texas is one of the world's largest.
Yeah, we're always ready to go.
You guys can actually
we're
succeed,
like 10th or 11th.
and I foresee that you guys don't have a big problem with the transition, other than kicking the federal government out of your area. Because the feds may go, well, you know what, the federal land that we occupy, that's federal land. That's not state land. We're going to keep this. But then how do they get supplies in and out to their federal buildings?
Texas was its own country. There's hardly any federal land.
Yeah, see, a lot of
Texas may have a case and like, hey, we paid our taxes for this.
The Civil War had many causes. Secession was a result of, you know what, we don't want to be part of this club anymore. Because the North is imposing, they thought the North was imposing undue harm against the South, because the South was pretty much a natural resource provider, and they would ship everything up north to get processed into product, but they would also impose restrictions in market. Like the South pretty much was not allowed to sell their own shit. If I remember correctly, you'd have to go back to Razor Fist's video on Abraham Lincoln to kind of get some rhetoric about that. A lot of it was more economical reasons versus virtue, principle. All right, like, well, they always sell virtue and principle as the reasons for war, but the actual reality of it is economics.
Yeah, economics, resources.
Well, natural resources provide economics.
Right.
Let's see. I was looking. Looking Destiny up on Twitter or on X real fast. I'm gonna be one of those assholes that never stops calling it Twitter.
I don't call it X. Okay, so Texas v. White, 1869. Supreme Court ruled unilateral secession unconstitutional, while commenting that revolution or consent of the states could lead to a successful secession. What the fuck does that mean?
Oh, man.
It's like saying, yes, it is, but then again, no, it's not.
Yeah, I'd have to literally sit down and read.
Oh, I would hate
Long
that
before-
because they read or they make these documents ungodly long just
Oh,
so
yeah, they
nobody
do.
goes and reads it.
It's like sitting here reading proposed laws that are just. It's mind numbing to sit there and read them, but I do it quite a bit, and it's
okay.
It is absolutely painful.
All right. We're back.
Y'all good, Outlaw?
Yeah. All right. What are we talking about, guys?
Secession. Secession and Destiny.
Oh, secession from the Union?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that the other day where a bunch of states are wanting to secede from this Union. What was it? What was the state? New Hampshire, I think, was the latest.
Oh, New Hampshire's got their own like ultra libertarian project going on in there.
I think Alaska got brought up. I know Texas is one of them.
We've
California,
always talked about it in here in Alaska, but there's kind of a consensus that we can't survive on our own without the federal government.
California, I think, is wanting to split into two states.
They've been wanting to split into two states for a long time.
Yeah, and then you got the Great Idaho Project, taking counties from Washington and Oregon and transferring them to Idaho.
Yep.
But they have it written in their constitution, their own state constitutions, that yes, the counties have to rule that they're going to do it or vote that they're going to do it, but then the state legislature has to approve it. And we all know the state legislatures are going to approve that, especially when resources and tax bases are being taken away.
Well, your state is enriched with oil, right? That's your biggest export, isn't it? Oil.
Yep. We got
And
oil, we got forestry, we have access to I think the state by itself, all natural resources combined that have been surveyed, is somewhere in the value of $1 trillion.
Oh, you guys
But we're not allowed to drill or dig for it, mainly because of the federal government. If we secede, well, first of all, we wouldn't need a rebellion because they consider it a rebellion.
You guys still have the land bridge between you and Russia, right?
The land bridge is long gone.
It's not
like
there
10,000
anymore.
years long gone. But
yeah, there's like 60 miles separating the two.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
I don't think between where the Bering. Here, I'll bring up a map of Alaska to kind of give you an example.
Here, while he's
Somebody asked, what was the Civil War over?
And there's a bunch of
Oh, they
diamond
thought it
mines
was
in
over
Alaska.
secession. Secession
It
was the
was-
result that created the Civil War, but there were underlying causes to it.
It was states' rights, secession from the Union. I think slavery might have been a part of that. but
slavery
not
came in
free.
much later in the argument.
Right.
It became a very good voting
Yes.
issue for Lincoln. Here we go.
But originally it was states' rights from what I remember studying.
Here we go. Google Maps. Oh, I think you might be right.
Yeah, see, you guys have a
You shown
land
it?
bridge between you and.
Okay.
Yeah, you got what's left of it. Basically,
So we're looking at the scale down here at the bottom, which looks like about an inch from Wales to about here. That should be about 50 miles to the landmass. But this is very treacherous waters. St. Lawrence Island, that belongs to us. We also got the Aleutian chain that goes. I think this is, that's Japan. This is like one of our furthest Aleutian islands on the panhandle. So you zoom out, that's all ours.
Yeah, see the international date line. Yeah, everything to the right of the international date line is ours.
Yeah.
But
or the international
also,
squiggle.
The majority of all this here, like majority of Russia altogether is uninhabitable land. Most of it, you can see during the big cities here and over on the left side. That's where most Russians live. But Russia has, if you're talking about a multicultural state, Russia is one of the most multicultural states in the world.
Yes, it is. Just in the main body of Russia. Because you've got all sorts of basically Asian influence. It's
Europe, Slavs.
It's not the
I don't
Dolph Lundgren looking motherfucker the whole way through.
I don't even think he's Russian. I think he's Dutch.
Yeah, I think he is.
But he just plays a Russian character so well with his accent.
Yeah, that's why I used him as an example.
And blonde hair, blue eyes, and all that.
Yeah, Russia, especially when you get up in some of the provinces, you look at them and you'd swear to God they were freaking Chinese, basically. By the facial structure, eye structure, everything like that. Let's look at something just for fun.
I was about to say.
We're going to look at Mr. Destiny's Twitter for a second.
Oh, no, Dolph is Swede. He's a Swedish man. But he is an American. Oh, my God. He's 6'5"?
Yeah.
I knew he was tall. I didn't know that tall.
Yeah, I heard his name come up today on Brandon Trueblood's stream. I didn't know who he was. Everybody was talking about him.
I've seen him on a couple things. I saw him on a Piers Morgan not too long back, just spouting a bunch of leftist shit and got destroyed. But
Pierce is that one main MSM pundit that is starting to hold people accountable. And it's very weird because he was never like that when he was with, I think, MSNBC or CNN when he had his show there.
Yeah, he is definitely, he's still shitty on guns, but he doesn't like the far left bullshit that's going on.
He's a UK man. Of course he doesn't like guns.
This was talking about his little meltdown on screen. There was one other couple that I saw. Suddenly, conservatives have an appetite for cancel culture because they're basically saying he ought to be canceled for glorifying violence. Where was that other one? It's down here.
Well, Destiny's never been well liked amongst conservatives. He's always been much more well liked with progressives, and especially the militant ones.
That's why he'd be on, which even the Young Turks have destroyed him on things. But
I mean, he's many times I've seen him walk into Fresh and Fit studio and try to debate in studio with him. Not just him, but Rollo Tomasi, Zerka. Zerka's a bit of a nut, but he's just got a flamboyant personality. He's also got some bad opinions, in my opinion, but
I'm sure he's talking about the firefighter right here. I'm sure Corey and Babbitt are both having fun with each other in hell right now.
What?
That's out of line. That's out of line for.
What the hell is this guy's problem?
Here's this one. So Corey was replying to Gunther Eagleman here, and I follow Gunther. Damn it, go back. And he says, "This is the fucking retard that got killed at the Trump rally?" ? Fucking laughing my ass off. This dude is such a fucking piece of shit.
Well, that's why I said I'm giving him the label oxygen thief, because piece of shit is too good for him. Oh, Hassan Nabi.
Oh, Hassan is another one.
Yeah, he's another fucking retard. But, you know, for a socialist, he's got a very expensive house.
Yeah, you think?
I think it's awesome
$3
that
million.
the Republicans who regularly talk about putting entire segments of the population into concentration camps are doing.
Wait, what?
Words of I'm reading this guy's tweet. Rhetoric at the Democrats for saying stuff like "orange mango Hitler." When has the Republican Party ever come out and said they're putting people in concentration camps?
Dude, it hasn't happened.
Hillary Clinton said people, or the MAGA people, need to be put into re-education camps.
Yeah, they wanted anybody who wouldn't take the jab in camps.
Yeah. Well, no, there were prominent physicians and physicians who are in positions to make policy say we need to segregate these unwilling people against the rest of the population for our own protection. No, you got the jab. You're protected from us, right?
But
that's how vaccines work.
But see, Sean, it's the same with feminists. This shit don't work unless it has all of our participation, buying into it, and supporting it with our tax dollars. You see, that's what they really want. They want your compliance. They want your tax dollars. They want you to co-sign on it to give them the validity that they're craving out of you, while at the same time reserving the right to tell you how much they fucking hate you.
Oh, yeah.
That's who these people are.
Oh, they definitely gaslight the hell out of you.
We are a resource to abuse and extract from.
Joe Biden sent the orders. He should be removed from Congress immediately. Mike Collins.
Okay, I will say if lawmakers, local, state, federal, are saying this, that definitely shows poor character.
Mm-hmm.
To say the least.
And I don't think that makes them worthy of my vote.
Mm-hmm.
And if you feel the need to recall them, I ain't gonna stop you, to be honest.
Agree with this. Be more consistent and don't wish him well. You can't say Trump is Hitler one day, then wish him well the next day. That's not how it works unless you're a lying, corrupt piece of shit. Agree with this.
Oh, the Hodge twins?
Yeah, that was the Hodge twins.
Wow, that's probably one of the most calmest things I ever heard them say.
Oh, the Hodge twins are a fucking hoot.
Oh, they are. But they don't sugarcoat truth either.
No, they lay it out there 100%.
And they're more than willing to say, yes, black people, it is kind of your fault sometimes.
Yeah, which makes them not real popular on the left.
Oh no, they're not. They're not popular with the progressive left black demographic.
If I've
They're
offended
Uncle Toms, they're coons.
if I've offended anyone with my recent tweets, I'd like to make things right. DM me, and I'll buy you front row seats to the next Trump rally.
Nice.
This guy is seriously a piece of shit.
Yeah.
There should be.
I haven't ever really paid too much attention to this dude. I knew he was far left, progressive, wacko.
Oh, Harry Sisson. Oh, what is he saying? Because he's a confirmed paid shill.
Oh, in my honest opinion, Coop, I wouldn't call this guy a Democrat or a liberal. I'd call him just a complete out of control piece of shit.
No, he's a far left progressive. I mean, that's where he falls. Is an absolute far left progressive.
He's just a straight up extremist piece of shit. Yeah.
Really and truly, yeah. But anyway, guys, let's go ahead and end this for the night. I'm gonna grab me a shower. I got to get ready and go to work in the morning. Everybody's got channels. Did you post all your stuff out in the chat already?
Let me,
if you haven't, go ahead and sling it out there.
All right, let me get my
And
links.
if anybody in here doesn't have a wrench, let me know.
Let me get my link for this channel real quick.
Yeah, give me a minute. I was relieving myself.
There is no relief.
Well, my bladder is feeling relieved.
Mike might not be still in here, but I got to give him a wrench anyway. Mike White, 2A Advocacy. You guys look him up.
All right, I'm throwing it in the chat. I don't think I'm wrenched, but I don't ask for them at the same time.
Gotta wait for the chat to pop up where I can put my link in.
And let me know if you can see it, because I'm not wrenched, so therefore I'm not supposed to put links in, but it still should show up as text.
Yeah, I'm trying to get you in the YouTube chat where I can give you a wrench.
Here, let me just put out a test.
It looks like my... Oh, here we go. Hold on.
Here?
Wrong one.
There you go. All right. Oh, yeah. It's a great chat tonight.
Here we go. You have one now.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Put it right here.
So, nope, keep going.
All right.
That's why we call it the Blue Wrench Mafia over here. I can't remember who's the first one who called that one out, because anybody who comes into the chat, hangs out for a little while, or been on a panel, and we know we're kind of meeting on things, at least for the most part. I want to have a wrench because I want anybody to be able to throw their channel out in chat or throw a link out in chat, stuff like that.
Those of us who can discuss it cordially.
Yes. I've said before, the only time I would kick someone out of a chat or have one of the mods kick out of the chat is if they came in and they were just being a completely racist piece of shit. I don't even care where they come in and they're big Biden support and whatever. I don't care. I've had those too. But that's the one line that I'll draw on. If they come in, these people are this and these people are that, blah 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 blah. Nah, dude, I can't deal with that. I'm all for free speech, but hey, go to someone else's chat.
I would really love to chat with some Biden supporters and ask them, why do you support him? Don't give me emotion. No emotion. Give me policy positions.
Yeah, most of them, because like I said, we've had some in. Hell, I've invited some. They wouldn't take it and get on the stream, but most of it's all emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Most all of it's all emotion.
Yeah, it's basically, in a sense, throwing your vote away by voting for Biden in there instead of Trump just because you hate him that much, just so somebody else is in there that you can tolerate a little bit easier.
And that's a lot of what it amounts to. I mean, I was never a huge Trump fan. I was willing to roll the dice on him because his America First policies, cutting taxes, trying to bring jobs back, things like that. Damn sure wouldn't vote for Hillary.
Get out of the
because I already know where
globalization.
that bitch stands. Yeah. Get out of the globalist agenda. Start doing stuff that's right for America.
Because the world is not united in, let's say, principle.
No.
It is most certainly united in principle, and the fact that people are trying to force it, you have some big fucking gall to try to make everybody in the world start to be compliant to you with your UN or your globalist policies, because you know who's not going to subscribe to it? Pretty much everybody east of the old Soviet bloc.
There's a definite, man, that not all countries are going to buy onto an American value, which should, at our core, be freedom.
Well, I personally saw what happened when we tried to impose it in Iraq my 2 times over there.
Yeah.
It's not compatible. It's not compatible with the population. You either have to exterminate a significant amount of the population, like the Romans used to do, or you've got to have ideas be spread and accepted over many generations. And a lot of people are not waiting for that assimilation to happen. They would rather impose war under false pretenses to force people into capitulation. It's not going to work out.
You can't take cultures that are thousands of years old and expect to just enforce your value system on them.
No, the best you can do is make them as much of a friend to you, but keep them at an arm's length.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right, so all you guys got channels posted
on
What
forcing freedom. Yeah, W is unsuccessful on forcing freedom on them.
You can't go in militarily and force stuff like that. You can't.
Oh, I know. But I thought it was funny when he said at the time, we're going to force freedom on them.
Yeah,
here's the thing. They have no understanding of the concept of a representative government. Ever since, you
can't take
because they've all been under dictatorships or kingdoms.
Yeah, that's been oppressed.
Some of them were more let's say more human or more human rights compliant than others, until they said, no, we're not playing your game, US, and then we overthrew their government, or we helped it. Getting involved in Iran and Iraq during the 60s and 70s was a bad idea.
Yes.
But we got a bad habit of creating our own future problems.
Every single time. Every single time. We wouldn't have had issues. We probably would not have had issues with Russia, but we created that problem with the Soviet Union. We created that shit. We created that problem with Vietnam. We create our problems constantly.
You remember when Putin was recently installed, he reached out to the Clinton administration for an alliance?
I don't remember that one offhand, but I'm sure it sounds like it more than likely happened.
It did. It happened, but Clinton said, let me get back to you. And Clinton went back to his staff, his people, his party, and they said no. How many problems would we have avoided with bringing Russia into NATO or bringing Russia into a U.S. or Russo-U.S. alliance?
It's like I say, if we could be friendly with them and keep them at arm's length and not get involved in their internal politics, we would have been fine. That would have been the best way to do it.
I think if globalization is going to be successful in the next 200 years, that's the policy, which is you do you, boo. We're going to have some, red line restrictions. So if you go, you start gassing your people, you start doing some vile human rights violations, we're going to have to disown you, if not correct you.
Yeah.
That's the only way I foresee it happening at large scale. Other than that, maybe we should just go back to everybody having nationalism, but with a emphasis on whatever your borders are currently, you will not move them.
It would definitely be, well, it's kind of like Trump had kind of had a deal with the Taliban right towards the end. As long as you guys don't mess with us, we'll be all right. If you mess with us, someone else is going to be raising your kids.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only thing that a lot of cultures understand is that freaking
power.
Violence. Yeah, that power, that violence. And in most cases, that's how we should dealt with a lot of situations. We're fine. If you come at us, your country's going to look like a parking lot by Tuesday. Just to let you know. We will put up Walmarts where your fucking capital is right now, and call it a day. But
yep,
we're run by probably the lowest common denominator in this country, and then they make money off the defense industry, and there's all sorts of hand washing and back scratching and kickbacks. And I didn't realize how deep that was until, I don't know, a few years ago, really. And really started paying attention to it. And it's like, it's just corrupt.
I would not say it is above the military industrial complex to engineer. Well, they're obviously they'll create plots to make sure that they get what they want, but they're always going to go the route of least resistance. So it's either going to be paying someone off, buying favor, then you go to bribery, then you go to leverage, which is your blackmail. And then if that's all not going to work, then you can expect what we saw last night or yesterday.
Oh, and I mean, you look at where policies like that have gotten us.
And they're more efficient at it than the government is.
You look at it, pretty much any country that we've been involved in that we end up in serious conflict with, at some point in time, we got involved in their internal conflict. We started supporting one side versus the other. And then the side that we support ends up turning around and biting us in the ass when we should have been out of it in the first place. We've got enough resources in the United States where we can do our own thing. We can actually, if we took advantage of them, be a major exporter. We've got enough industry in the United States. We don't have to go nowhere else for it.
No, we don't. We can be an isolationist country. We have the capability to do it, and it's something that I advocate for to fix our problems internally. Then we can reemerge on the world stage and be like, hey, we're ready to help out. We cleaned our house up.
Get your own house in order. Then go dealing with other things. But until we got our own house in order, as long as no one attacks us, I say we leave them the fuck alone. We get our own shit in order. And then, You know, if someone did attack us, if there was a major attack that wasn't false flag the whole way,
just don't go after our boats.
Yeah, that's when you go in and something that our government is completely forgotten about. When you go into a conflict, you completely take the leash off. You let our military do what it is there to do, which is make parking lots and install Walmarts, basically. There's no, oh, we're taking fire, can we shoot back? No, that's a fucking JDAM, baby, all day long. Hope they didn't have nothing.
Oh, I know you're trying to end the stream, but I got stories for you about that.
Yeah, we're going to end it though, but yeah, we'll have to hit those up on another night and then seriously kind of drill down into some of that. I still got
I'll try to catch you again one of these nights and we'll talk about them.
Yeah, dude, anytime, man. Anytime I got open chat, I mean, bounce in.
Will do.
Brother Bob, take it easy, my brother. Love you to death. Outlaw, we'll catch you on another one.
Yes,
Sean, dude, like I said, anytime we got open chat, you guys are always, you know, got an open spot. So bounce in and we'll shoot the shit. But
cool.
For that, we are going to end it. And again, I'll show my wife's gun off. You perks be cool. Keep that thing on you at all times. Because I don't expect this shit to get no fucking better anytime soon.
No.
I think it just keeps getting crazier. So you guys be cool. Yeah, you MVEs out there be cool. Us militant violent extremists. Good Christ, man.
That's an acronym I never heard.
Oh, you've never heard the militant violent extremist?
No, I have not.
Oh, you got to look that up.
The militia violent extremist, I think, right?
No, it's militant violent extremist. I think's what that one came down to. Yeah, if you basically if you've got a Gadsden flag, if you've got a Betty Ross flag, or any combinations of like 2A or something like that, the FBI put out this flyer. It had to have been like 2 years ago now.
Oh, I understand what you're talking about now with that that briefing leak.
Yeah, I mean, if you love freedom, you're a violent extremist, and the government.
Oh, also combat vets.
Yeah, combat vets were definitely on there. So.
Oh yeah, because we know how this works. We know how this actually works. And we're better at it than the federal government is.
Millions of dollars worth of training. But anyway, let's get out of here, guys. Love you guys.
Yep.
And like I said, I can get me a little sleep before I got to head to work in the morning. So we'll
Have a
catch
good
you
night,
out
man.
on the